for the Hayes High Indians.
Hayes High is going to be trying a new kicker here. Matthew Goodell just started practicing this week. You know, we were watching him in pregame here, and as he warmed up, as he's gotten a feel for this kicking in pads business, he's had some pretty good-looking kickoffs, so this could be a spark for this team.
73 degrees, a clear sky. There is a lot of storms expected in the far eastern part of the state. Teams moved up their games by an entire day. Some of them kicked off at 4 o'clock this afternoon. The wind is officially listed at 10 miles per hour. It's a fair amount stronger than that, gusting up to 20 to 25 at times. You're right, new kicker is going to be senior for the Hayes High Indians. Kicking left to right is going to be Matt Goodale, 6 foot, 150-pound senior. He is a midfielder for the soccer team.
And all indications are this is a tough kid, so I'm hoping he gets a tackle here.
He'll get an opportunity on the first kickoff. Back to return for Garden City, Lane Durst and Eric Dominguez, a wide receiver and a running back. The kickoff is a high, short kick towards the sideline. It bounces on the turf. It's a live football, and Hayes High almost gets there. And then Tucker Veach is going to lay out the returner, Lane Durst, who is lucky to hang on to the football. My goodness, what an opening. Great pitching wedge kickoff by the Indians' new kicker, Matt Goodale, and then Tucker Veach unloads a tackle at the 27-yard line.
Hurst had no idea Veach was coming. He took his eyes off the defender, put his eyes down to find that ball, and Veach stuck him with it.
3 wide receivers for Carlos Acosta, 2 to the right, 1 to the left, and then a running back to his right is Biera. They call him a hefty back. Behind him is one of the running backs. That's Dominguez. He'll take the handoff left side. That is Josh Janis, 5'9", 175-pound senior. He has 274 rushing yards on the year, has 2 on first down to the 29.
Gavin Myers did a good job getting in the backfield and putting a stop there. This is what they're going to try to do all night. They're going to try to run this ball right down Hayes High's throat.
The offensive line, Trey Newsom, 208 pounds. Refugio Cheras committing to Missouri Southern, 298-pound senior. Ronaldo Ramos, a 225-pound junior. Garrick Wells, a 300-pound junior. And Whitehurst, a 230-pound sophomore on the right tackle. Initial tackle broken, but then 5 more maroon jerseys there to finish off the tackle. Senior Tavian Kramer is there, along with the Indians' Gavin Nutting. 3rd down and medium distance, 3rd down and 4 after the run to the 33-yard line.
Gavin Nutting is going to have his hands full with this big number 77 from Garden City tonight. I was talking to some kids earlier this week. They said this kid can squat an enormous amount of weight. Gavin Nutting is going to have a job tonight.
Refugio Cheras can squat 725 pounds. I saw the video. It is something else. That bar bends. 4 wide receivers now as Biera comes to a wing back to the left. It's going to be a handoff to Janis again. He gets stood up. Veach is there for the tackle. This is very near a first down. A really good spot by the official on this near side, and it is going to be enough for the first down. Boy, this is really close. The near side official has his foot on the 37-yard line, and the official says it is enough for a first down. 3rd and 4, needed 4, got 4, and it's a first down. The officials, or the Hayes High Indians, are wanting a measurement, but they're not getting it.
This looks like a pretty generous spot for Garden City. You know, the initial hit had him stop short, but he kept his feet driving.
The officials have the ball short of the 37-yard line, which would be the first down, but they already moved the sticks. Here we go, first down for Garden City, who's really taken a lot of time off the clock. 2 wide receivers right, 2 to the left. The quarterback is Carlos Acosta. Acosta a year ago ran 39 times against the Hayes High Indians. Through 3 games this year, he's rushed 36 times. Now the running back, Janis, to the left of Acosta. It's an end around to Durst. Durst tries to get to the edge. Nothing doing. There's Gavin Myers, the first one on the scene, the league's leading tackler. Also there for the tackle is going to be Bill Scott.
We are already seeing early how Garden City likes to run this ball. Fortunately for Hayes High, this is kind of playing into their strengths. They can get through the line quick. At least that's what we've seen all season. This could be a good sign for them.
No gain at the 37-yard line. 2nd and 10 from the right hash. Garden City opening drive right to left. They'll put 3 wide receivers to the wide side of the field. That's the Hayes High side on the left side. Acosta is going to fake a pass, throw, and it's batted down by Gavin Myers. Myers trying to stick out that right paw to snatch it out of the air, but he knocks it down, 3rd and 10.
Gavin Myers did a great job of keeping his eyes on that ball and knowing where it was at all times and putting himself in position to knock that ball out of the air.
The Garden City on 3rd down this year, 34%, 14 of 41. The Indian defense has allowed 34% conversion by their opponents. Durst and Reyes, wide receivers to the left, 2 to the right, including Vieira, and now Gerardo Ortega, a freshman playing in his first career game. Shotgun formation. Acosta straight drop. 5-step drop, looking to throw, completed and incomplete. Tavian Kramer knocks it in and out of the hands of Lane Durst, who comes in as the team's leading receiver, and Tavian Kramer with a pass breakup on 3rd down.
Yeah, he timed that just right to hit him right as the ball got there, so he avoided a penalty, and he didn't allow him to make that catch.
Well, he had that big play last week on the fake punt on the pass by Cyrus Dunlap, and again, he didn't interfere that night either. Garden City to kick. Micah Dvorak has had 3 punts blocked this year. In 10 punts, he's averaged 30 yards per punt, and he gets off a nice high end-over-end punt. Kanik is going to return from the 27, fumbled the football at the 23, and falls on it at the 25-yard line, avoiding disaster. He let it get a little too far in onto his pads, but he's able to pick up the football after the 41-yard punt. Indian ball at the 25.
Now, something to keep an eye on all night for Hayes High is Devontae Robinson got through that line quick, and he almost got a hand on that Paul.
7-play drive results in a punt for Garden City. Now the Hayes High offense trots out onto the field. We'll get to those starters in a moment. 3 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left for quarterback Dylan Dreiling. To his right is Roy Maroney, so that puts one of the wide receivers to the right as Hayden Brown. Now Maroney will step back behind Dylan Dreiling on this 1st down play. Roll out right side, Dreiling cuts back, and he'll run over a defender who's trying to tackle him. It's only a 2-yard gain to the 27. That's a different look from Dylan Dreiling, not running away, running into a defender.
Yeah, that's something we talked about last week as he tried to avoid that contact. Here he put his shoulder pads down and ran him over.
2nd and 8, 2 right, 2 left, Maroney in the backfield. Carson Kiefer, the wide receiver left with Hayden Brown, Dylan Reuter, and Jaron Kanik, wide receivers to the right for your skill player offensive starters. It's a handoff. Maroney cuts back, 1st down, 40, 45-yard line, still on his feet, reverses field. He's up the right sideline. Convoy up the sideline. Touchdown, Hayes High Indians. Roy Maroney to the house, and the Indians take a 6-0 lead with 8:31 to go in the 1st quarter.
That play was made possible by the offensive line. They threw some great blocks, and they gave him an opportunity to get in the secondary. And with as fast as Maroney is, he was off to the races.
73 yards for Roy Maroney. Roy had 45 yards on the season coming in, and Maroney strikes from far out, and now we get to see the new kicker for the Hayes High Indians, Matt Goodale, to kick his first career extra points. 2 plays, 75 yards, and a touchdown for the Hayes High Indians. Goodale with the exclamation point. Low snap that rolls in. Really good grab by Veach and right through the uprights. That's a good-looking extra point by Matthew Goodale. And not to make too much out of kicking, but it alleviates another time that the Indians' middle linebacker is out there, Gavin Myers, but it also takes some stress off of the coaching staff and everybody else to know, okay, we got a guy back there that's going to put this through the uprights.
Well, then even on these kickoffs, it's looking like this kid has ice in his veins, like he's a tough player. That was a beautiful kick, something we haven't seen all year, and if he can carry that to this kickoff and pin Garden City back inside and give them some terrible field position, that's another bonus for Hayes High.
Roy Maroney's 73-yard run puts the Hayes High Indians up 7-0 after the extra point by Matthew Goodale. 2 plays, 75 yards, and the Indians come out firing here in quarter number 1. Indian football is brought to you by Discount Siding, Edward Jones, Daryl Jeff, and Linda Seibel, and Lewis Automotive Group. Let's get your Phase 2 uniform update. Garden City will be in their road white tops, brown pants, Under Armour uniform, a brown number on the left side and right side of their helmet, and then a brown stripe down the middle. For the Hayes High Indians, maroon tops, white pants, white helmet with the spear on each side. Nice, bright, easy to read gold numbers for the Hayes High Indians. Uniform update brought to you by Phase 2. Thanks to Phase 2 for providing game day apparel for our broadcast. Quick turnaround, ready to help your team. Phase 2 next to Big D's Rental on 22nd Street in Hayes. So we get to see Matt Goodale kick off for a second time. This time a high end-over-end kick. Durst will field at the 6, nearly go to a knee. The Indians are able to break, contain, and now so does Durst. Durst along the right side. Great open field tackle by the Hayes High Indians. Coming up is Dawson Von Felt to cut that down before the 30-yard line. That's the nice part of a deep kick. Yes, a 20-plus yard return, but it only got to the 29-yard line.
Well, there's some missed tackles there. If they can correct that, they're going to be pinning their opponents inside the 20, which is huge.
Gavin Hazelhorst was the first one down there, and he may have got himself down there a little too quick. Garden City will go with a double tight end formation where they just try to bulldoze their way down the field. They have not run that yet. 2 wide receivers left, Reyes and also Durst. 1 wide receiver to the right is Vieira. Shotgun formation for Acosta. Turn, handoff, and it's a counter play for the running back. It's Josh Janis over the right side past the 30 near the 35-yard line. Good gain on first down of 6 yards.
That's what they're going to try to do. You know, we watched him in warm-ups. They're going to try to push that ball right through Hayes High's defensive line.
6 yards on first down. The first drive for Garden City went 7 plays, converted on 3rd and 4, but then threw incomplete on 3rd and 10 when Tavian Kramer rocked the ball out of a receiver's hands. Turn, handoff again to Janis. He gets hit at the line of scrimmage. His forward momentum will take him within a yard of the first down marker at the 39-yard line. His knee goes down at the 38. 3rd and 1 for a team that's 1 of 2 on 3rd down.
Trey Adams really got shut up there. He was through that line, but the offensive line for Garden City was able to push him back and allow their running back to get through that hole.
Heavy dose of Josh Janis so far. 5 carries, 19 yards out of the 8 plays run by Garden City. They're 0 for 2 passing. Garden City taking a lot of time getting these plays in from the sideline. Arteaga, the wide receiver, to the right. 3 to the left, including Vieira this time, who is in a tight slot to the left side. Probably a running play his way. It is. It's a counter play and into the backfield. Gavin Myers, tackle for loss, number 6 on the season. Now number 2 alone in the Western Athletic Conference. 4th down after a loss of 2.
Well, and that's what they're going to find with Hayes High is this speed that's able to shed blocks and get through the line and stuff that run. That's one of the keys we talked about to the game, and putting them into these longer passing situations, and now they've got a punt.
First punt went 41 yards. Kanik had it go in and out of his chest. He'll have to make sure he corrals a little bit better this time. The punt from the 36-yard line. A high snap that is grabbed, and the Indians almost got there. Hazelhorst almost got it. Kanik will let a bad punt take a Garden City bounce. He had to get away from that one. It'll roll down to the Indian 26-yard line. Good starting field position for Hayes High on a 38-yard punt. And there is a flag on the play down the field. This likely going to be holding on the Hayes High Indians. It's about 10 yards from where the first down marker is, holding on Hayes High. So what was the 26-yard line for a starting spot will be moved back to the 16-yard line for the Hayes High Indians on their first penalty of the night. Indian football leading 7-0, 6:27 to go, first quarter.
That name we called last time, Devontae Robinson, he almost got his hand on. You know, we said that the Garden City's going to have to watch out. They don't have an answer right now for Devontae Robinson on these punts. And you just watch, he's going to get one tonight.
Indian football is brought to you by State Glass Company, M&D Excavating, and Jeter Law Firm. That offensive line that Matt Dumler mentioned led the way for that touchdown by Maroney on the previous drive. Remington Cox, the left tackle. Luke Fletcher, all-league last year, the left guard. Jimmy Rowe, the center. Right guard, Gavin Nutting. Right tackle, Brock Loomis. 1st and 10 from their own 16-yard line. Maroney in the backfield. 4 wide receivers, 3 to the wide side, and a high snap over the head of Dreiling. It goes back into the end zone. Dreiling's going to pick it up, and that's going to be a loose football. Garden City has it, and it's a touchdown for the Garden City Buffaloes.
Those simple things that we talked about at the beginning of the game can kill you. They'll shoot you in the foot. And right there was just one of those snaps. All season we've seen those snaps go low. That one went high. That is a mistake Hayes High has got to fix.
And it's recovered in the end zone. Dreiling tried to pick it up, got hit as he picked it up. It was just above his helmet. And so Hayes High now will send out their extra points, or their PAT unit on defense. It's been an interesting year for Dvorak. He is 1 for 6 on extra points. This to tie the game after the defensive touchdown. The snap is through the hands of the holder. The kicker falls on it, and the extra point is never even kicked. 7-6, Hayes High still with the lead, 6:20 to go in the first quarter.
Well, and how big could that be later on in this game? You know, we're starting to see a little track meet here, score back and forth, and any missed points that you take off the board could be huge for either team.
Hayes High loses 16 yards on the snap that went into the end zone. They lose 6 points of their lead as well, and it was a defensive touchdown for Garden City. I have no idea which one of the multiple white shirts down there recovered the football. 7-6 Hayes High with a 1-point lead. Now they'll return a kick for the first time tonight, and this, Matt Dumler, is where Hayes High has been trying to improve, is not let one mistake turn into 2, to turn into 3, to turn into 4, instead trying to make sure that one mistake stays one mistake and move forward.
Right, you know, I always use that term quicksand. As soon as you get one and you step in it, and the more you struggle to try to overcome it, the deeper and deeper you get. You know, looking back at that last snap, it makes you question how much longer can they stay in that shotgun snap when they have to move Dillon right underneath center. It's a question you've got to think about.
Hayes High will send back Canick and Brown to return this kick at the 15-yard line. Not a deep kicker by Micah Dvorak, and this is a short end-over-end kick. Brown will field at the 25-yard line, make a left return, and get across the 30 to near the 31. Paul Perez, the starting linebacker, who has 29 tackles on the season. He's one of the league's leading tacklers. He is 5th in the league in tackles, and probably after my job one day, he won 2 sports Kansas Association of Broadcast Student Awards last year.
You better watch out. He's coming for you.
Watch my back. 6:15 to go in the opening quarter. Hayes up by 1. They'll start this drive at their own 33-yard line after fumbling the snap on the previous one 16 yards into the end zone. Hayes High leads because of a Roy Maroney 73-yard touchdown. Good snap, handoff Brown, end around, tries to find the angle at the 40, and that's where he'll go out of bounds. Nice end around for the Indians. Good blocking on that side by Jaron Canick and Dylan Reuter, the wide receivers. They'll mark this all the way to the 41-yard line. Gain of 8 on first down. Matt, you mentioned first down. It works as well for the Hayes High Indians.
Right. You know, this is one of the strengths that we've seen from Hayes High, is the ability to get outside of those. They've never been good at going up the middle, but tonight so far that seems to be their idea, is to get on the outside and use their speed.
6'8" Dylan Reuter, the lone wide receiver to the right. Maroney bounces to the left at Dreiling, where there's 3 wide receivers. Second down and 2. Handoff Maroney up the middle, makes one man miss, and he'll get very near the first down. The official from the far side pats his right knee and says his right knee goes down shy of the first down marker by about 3/4 of a yard, just shy of the 43-yard line. 3rd and 1 for a Hayes High Indian team that has not faced third down yet tonight.
You know, Roy Maroney, you look at this kid, and he's only a sophomore, but he's got some build to him. He's going to be fun to watch as he grows into his body over the junior-senior year.
Indians go quick snap. They get Hayden Brown at the Wildcat. He'll run left side. Broken play. Boy, nobody blocked. Somebody off of the right end, blitzing in and making the tackle before Hayden Brown could even make his first cut is Xavier Soriano, his 10th tackle of the year. It results in a loss of 3 yards.
Well, and that's something we talked about at the beginning of the broadcast, is those are the kind of mistakes you've got to cut out. Have all this momentum and then shoot yourself in the foot.
Hayes High acting like they're going to go for this on 4th down. 4th down at about 4. Is this just to try to draw Garden City offside? It is. Now Hayden Brown will go back to punt. So the Indians needed a yard. They lost 3 and will punt from their own 39-yard line. Brown is going to roll out to his right. Flag on the play. This will come back. Indians jumped, and it was a good punt against a defense that didn't send anybody back, and the punt rolls down and stops at the 3-yard line. Would have been a perfect punt. Instead, Hayes High will have to do it over again.
So everything that went right on that first drive just didn't, and it hasn't the rest of the night for Hayes High. They've got to get this turned around. This is a game they can win, but they can't stop themselves.
7-6, Hayes High with the lead first quarter. 4:54 to go in the quarter. Hayes High jumped out to a 7-0 lead. Hayes High will now punt from their own 39-yard line. Good snap. Brown is in some trouble. Now he has to try to run for it. Never got a chance to be able to throw it. And he's got a first down in the Garden City territory. He'll run into a defender. First down, Hayes High. Brown was not supposed to fake it. He did not have a chance to kick it. Instead, he's going to run for a first down into Garden City territory. He'll get all the way to the 40. Make that the 37-yard line. A run of 24 yards on 4th and 9.
Just when Hayes High needs a spark all season, they get one from their senior. He's consistent at that.
He did not hesitate once he was able to get himself up that right sideline, knew exactly what he needed to do. To the plus side of the 37, shotgun for Dreiling, 2 left. It's a play action, throw down the seam for Canick. It's tipped up in the air, intercepted. Taken away, the defense got to it. Taken away by Ashton Huber, the safety, and Garden City has the football back. Ashton Huber's first interception on the season, the team's 2nd interception overall, and the Indians turned the ball over. Right throw, right read, but a defender got his hand in there and popped it up in the air.
That's a drill that they do every practice, is that tip drill. It's a fundamental drill. You start at a very, very young age, and right there it paid off for Garden City.
A couple of these interceptions this season that have gone against Dreiling, which that is now his 4th of the year, have gone off his receiver's hands, or like that one popped high into the air. So Garden City has the ball back at their own 39. So after the Indians had to an inadvertent fake punt, they give the ball right back, and now a throw that is caught by Biera at the 41-yard line will gain 2 yards on first down. The first completed pass tonight for Carlos Acosta.
Well, and Hayes High is lucky that that throw was low, because he would have been gone. He'd have had a lot of yardage on that catch if he'd have caught it high.
Philip Biera's 9th catch of the season. 3:45 to go, opening quarter. Hayes clinging to a 1-point lead at 7-6. Trey Adams moves to a defensive tackle spot now. It's an inside handoff to the second man through. They sent Biera up through the hole first, and then Josh Janis ran right behind him and picked up 8 yards for a first down to the 49-yard line.
It looked like Hayes High's defenders just ran right past him, and Garden City's offensive line with those big guys did a good job of opening up a hole for him.
In the first quarter, TMP up on Hoisington, 6-0 on the road in Hoisington. TMP, a 2-touchdown loss last week to state-ranked Plainville. Defense has been very good this year. And the Monarchs lead Hoisington 6-0 on your Hayes Kalon scoreboard update. 1st and 10 from the 49-yard line. Garden City on their own half of the field. It's a rollout now, keeper by Acosta, and there's going to be a holding penalty. This will come back, tackle down the field. Great job by the Hayes High Indians. Either Devontae Robinson or, nope, that was Gavin Hazelhorse doing exactly what Gavin does. Gets into the backfield. The right guard, Garrick Wells, who is 300 pounds, grabs the Indians' Hazelhorse, who's 215, and just throws him down into the turf. Holding penalty, 10 yards on Garden City.
Welcome to the weight room. That's what it can do for you, is give you those kind of plays. Hopefully the young kids take notice.
Garden City will now have first down back from their own 36-yard line. In total, it's a 13-yard penalty. 10 because of the flag, but again, high school football, you mark it from the penalty, because, you know, high school kids have a better opportunity to overcome more yardage than NCAA and NFL. 3 wide receivers right, 1 in motion. Coming to the near side is Biera. Back to throw Acosta. That'll be an illegal formation. Biera started running towards the line of scrimmage like a CFL play. 5 more yards tacked onto the Garden City deficit for now first down and 20, maybe 30 plus yards.
You know, you mentioned that TMP game, how they're playing with much more confidence in the defense. Hopefully Hayes High can take notice, because something has clicked for the TMP Monarchs this year where they're not afraid of those good teams. And hopefully Hayes High's young kids can find out whatever it is that they had and carry it over to their team.
1st and 28 from the 31. Well, the defense tonight for Hayes High has been stout. The 6 points are not a product of their doing. 3 right, 1 left. Shotgun for Acosta on 1st and 28. Draw play. Janis gets a big hole. 40, 45. Flag on the play. This one's coming back, and it's a tackle in Hayes High territory, but another holding call on Garden City. This is the reason they were able to get down the field. There was a lineman down the field. It is Trey Newsom, the left tackle. He had a hold of Gavin Myers and has just locked him in place. Easy holding call penalty at the 37-yard line.
and this is a perfect example about how you shoot yourself in the foot, because twice now, yes, they've had big plays off of penalties, but twice now they've had some good yardage, and they've just kept bringing themselves back. There's a reason why we talk about those things needing to be cleaned up.
Officially 25 yards on penalties, and it's still first down. The ball was at the 49 on the Garden City side of the field. It's still on Garden City side, back at their own 28-yard line now. It is first down and 30-plus yards. So from the 28, first and 31. Shotgun snap, handoff to Janis. Gets by the first guy, but not by Gavin Myers, who makes the tackle at the 33-yard line. Gain of 5 on the play.
Well, and guess what? There is no flag, so we get to go on to second down.
Second down is seen again.
It can happen.
And now Acosta signaling to the sideline that he does not know what play they're trying to send in. Apparently he agrees. Now that was first and 31. This is second and 26. From the 34-yard line is where they marked it at. And Acosta will keep. Left side, has some room to run. Gets wrangled at the 41 as Tavian Kramer and Gavin Myers converge for the tackle. And it is third down and about a half a country mile.
Well, and Gavin Myers was blocked on that play, but he was able to shed it and then grab a hold of the runner and tackle him. That's a great play by that young sophomore.
It is third and 19 after Acosta's first official run of the game. It went for 7 yards. Remember, he ran 39 times against Hayes High last year in that 35-28 win. 2 right, 1 left for Garden City. Janis to the right of the quarterback for Acosta on third and 19. It's a handoff to Janis. Gets pushed into the backfield. 1 guy there, 2 guys there. Gavin Hazelhorst first. Gavin Myers finishes him off. It's a tackle for loss, and it's back to the 39-yard line. Loss of 2.
That Gavin's made a good play there. But what does that say about Garden City's passing game? That on third and long that way, and they're willing to try a run instead of put the ball in the air. That's a good sign for Hayes High.
The ball goes out of bounds, so the clock stops. Now they wind it with 10 seconds to go in the quarter, and Garden City is not going to get this snap off before the end of the first quarter. First quarter in the books, 7-6 Hayes High on a Roy Maroney 73-yard touchdown run. Hayes High offense gave up 6 points on a bad snap, and after 1 quarter, Hayes leads against their homecoming opponent by 1 on the Hayes High Sports Network, powered by Thirsties and The Venue. Open up the second quarter in punt formation on 4th and 21 on a drive that initially started at the 41 and then lost 25-plus yards on penalties. So from their own 39, they punt away. Kanik back for a third time to receive a punt. This is a slow snap that the Indians can't quite get to. It's a shank of a punt that takes a lateral bounce out of bounds at the Hayes High 30-yard line. And you talk about easy for the official. It went out of bounds right on the 30-yard line, 31-yard punt for the punter for Garden City, Micah Dvorak.
The problem with that is the defenders for Hayes High that are coming back to block for Jaron, have got to make sure that that ball doesn't touch him, because it was very close to bouncing into Gavin Myers, and that'd make it a live ball.
Garden City offense hasn't done much. Hayes High offense has had 3 drives, a touchdown, a turnover, and a turnover. Snap, handoff to Brown, end around right side, following Fletcher, the right or the left guard, pulling to the right side will help him get a 5-yard gain up to the 35-yard line. Well, you get some of those big guys out there moving. Hayes High's offensive line isn't the biggest this year, but they got good feet, and they're able to get out ahead of the blocking.
Well, in between you and me and everybody else, we just got away with the block in the back.
So better lucky than good sometimes,
Absolutely.
Right? 34 yards on 4 carries for Hayden Brown. 29 of those, or 24 of those came on that fake punt. It's a keeper by Dreiling. He wants to throw, pressure from his backside. Now he'll run, spin, first down on his feet, and Dylan Dreiling's up the left sideline. He got through the defense. He's at the 20, 10, 5, touchdown Hayes High Indians. Dylan Dreiling in the spin cycle is going to go in from 65 yards out, and Hayes High strikes for a second time tonight. 13-6, 11:05 to go, second quarter.
Whatever the coaches told Dylan this week on his running, something has sparked for this young man. He is running like a man possessed at times. There he's spinning. Most of the time your quarterback does that, you flinch, but this young man, he got in the open and he showed what he's capable of doing.
That's just his second rush tonight, but remember earlier his first rush was for 2 yards and he ran right over a defender for Garden City. Extra point coming up from Matt Goodale, the new soccer player, converted kicker, is blocked.
Yeah, he just hit it a little low. He's learning.
Remember, he kicked a couple of times this week and now is in pads and kicking. So, Indians still lead by a touchdown, and Matt mentioned earlier the blocked extra, or the extra point that never happened from the win, or on the touchdown by Garden City playing a big factor. It's still a full touchdown lead for the Hayes High Indians at 13-6.
Yeah, and by all accounts, the first time Matthew Goodell kicked in pads was pregame, not even at practice. The couple times that we saw him, and you know, this young man could do some beautiful things this season for Hayes High.
Dylan Dreiling caps off a 2-play drive of 70 yards with a 65-yard touchdown run. Hayes High has their 2 longest runs of the season in the first half of tonight's game. The 73-yarder by Roy Maroney is a new season long for Hayes High. That's 65 yards by Dylan Dreiling, now the second longest run of the season for Dylan, his first career touchdown rush for the Hayes High Indian varsity team.
When both of these young men are sophomores. And so one thing we talked about is they want the Hayes High Indians need the youth to take step forward, and so far tonight they've done just that.
It'll be Goodale to kick off once again, this time right to left. Well, he's getting some decent action in his first game of the year. His third kickoff already tonight. This one is a deep end-over-end kick. Garden City has to retreat back to the 10-yard line. It's going to be Reyes returning from the left side, and Devontae Robinson just lowered the boom on the returner. Lane Durst, I said it was Reyes, it was Lane Durst. That is the second hard hit on the returns by the Hayes High Indian specialists.
Well, and they did a good job of staying in their lanes to cover that kickoff, something they didn't do last time. Hayes High did a great job covering that, and they stopped him real close to the 20.
Indians are -2 in the turnover category tonight. They lead 13-6. This defense has been very sound. 10:58 to go before half. Acosta has 2 wide receivers, make that 3 now to his left side. Shotgun formation, play action pass, throws left, ball is tipped, still caught, and right there on the scene to make the tackle is going to be the Hayes High Indians. That is Wyatt Crane with the tackle in his first career start at the 25-yard line, gain of 3 to Lane Durst.
When we're starting to see Garden City start to realize that they're going to have to put the ball in the air if they're going to want to stay in this game.
2 completions out of 4 attempts for Acosta, but for just 5 total yards. Ball at the 25-yard line after that 3-yard completion. Acosta with 3 wide receivers left. That's the skinny side of the field. A turn and handoff. No play action pass. Looking left again, looking down the field. It's going to be up for grabs. It's going to be broken up and almost caught a second time by Christian Reyes. The Indians got there initially. Wyatt Crane busted it up. He comes up hobbling. I think he landed on a flat back on this Lewis Field turf. He stays in the game. He almost had an interception, and then Christian Reyes almost caught the ricochet.
Yeah, he's making the most of every opportunity. He's one of these sophomores that we keep talking about. In this right here, his ability to stay on the field after coming up limping is going to speak volumes to his teammates.
That play last week went for 65 yards by Liberal. 3rd down and 7 for Garden City. They're 1 for 4 on 3rd down. Screen play near side. Nope, they're going to throw it deep. Von Felt tracking it. It's going to be caught. What a catch by Gerardo Ortega, the freshman. Von Felt was right there, had perfect coverage. It fell into the hands of Ortega, who landed flat on his back in Hayes High territory at the 42-yard line. Sometimes you tip your cap on a great play by the other player.
When Ortega showed a second or third, fourth, fifth, sixth gear right there, he was behind that ball by a long ways, but he found that next gear and he was able to make that catch.
That is a 33-yard completion. Garden City right back to the line of scrimmage. They go quick this time. Give it to Janis, right side 40, 35, and a hard hit by the middle linebacker, sophomore Gavin Myers, but it's enough for a 1st down on a 10-yard gain.
Well, and that play right there was set up by the first 2 passes. They were able to show that they can complete that long one, so Hayes High had to stay true. They couldn't cheat up, and Garden City took advantage of it.
Garden City now 2 for 5 on 3rd down. They are operating in Hayes High territory for the first time tonight. All thanks to Gerardo Ortega, freshman, 6'1", 150. Speedster, we'll talk about that in a moment. 3 wide receivers left, 1 to the right. Acosta is going to fake left. He's going to go right, has a big blocker in front of him, and he'll run out of bounds shy of the 20-yard line. He got big Refugio Cherez, the left guard, to pull to the right side, throw a block, and get a 1st down to the 22-yard line. Another gain of 10, this time for Acosta. Acosta's got a lot of speed. Great basketball player, been on varsity since his freshman year. He had the junior high 100 and 200 meter records for track until wide receiver Gerardo Ortega, who's a freshman, broke them. He is 6'1", 150, and he's lined up as a wide receiver, solo to the right along the Hayes High sideline for this play from the Hayes High 22-yard line. The drive kept alive on a 33-yard pass. Hayes High shows blitz. Janis brings it near side right into the blitz. He breaks a tackle, breaks a second, and Tucker Veach saves a touchdown inside of the 10, and the Hayes High Indians getting pushed back on the run right now. That down to the 8, a gain of 14 for Janis.
Well, here we go. Hayes High's found themselves in this position. We've talked several times. They put up some big stops right here, and it's time to do it again.
Indians on defense have been in the red zone 17 times this season. They have turned their opponent away 6 times, once on a fumble recovery, 5 times on downs. Hayes High shows blitz. They bring the blitz off the left side. Handoff Janis. He runs right by the blitz, but jumping on his back and making the tackle at the 6-yard line is the Hayes High Indians. There is Trey Adams to make the tackle along with Bill Scott, 2nd and goal from the 6.
You know, I'm watching these big guys for Garden City. I'm amazed at how well they can move their feet. As this game progresses, they're starting to open up some holes. Hayes High's going to have to make some adjustments here to account for that.
Garden City is 6 for 9 in the red zone through 3 games. This is their 10th trip on the year. Of those 6 touchdowns, all of them rushing touchdowns. Tied into the left side is Vieira. 3 wide receivers to the right. Janis is a running back to that side as well. It's going to be a counter play to Janis. Gets hit by Gavin Myers at the 5. Carries him to the 3. 3rd and goal from the 3-yard line.
And Tavian Kramer came up to help put a stop and not allow him to get in the end zone and get that second push.
That is 14 carries for Josh Janis already. And here comes Garden City's hefty package. Alex Rodriguez, a 195-pound senior. Jonathan Grice, a 185-pound senior. They are like extra fullbacks coming into the ball game. They'll have Vieira as one of the tight ends, 185-pound senior. No wide receivers. It's all inside of the tackles with their 2 hefty backs to the left. Acosta under center on 3rd and goal from the 3. The Indians with a touchdown lead. Handoff Janis, left side, gets stacked up. Does he get in? The far side official says touchdown in a very dramatic fashion. It's a 13-12 ball game.
That almost looked like a victory formation that they got in there. That's a lot of beef to be pushing.
And they pushed on that side. Janis with the touchdown, his 7th of the season. He has the most touchdowns this year in the Western Athletic Conference. From 3 yards out on his 15th carry of the night. Now an extra point that never happened the first time around because of a bad snap has Acosta holding. Dvorak to kick. The extra point is on the way. He's 1 for 6 on the season and misses this one. It is 13-12.
Yeah, he pushed it right. At some point, Garden City may think about going for 2 here because this is 2 in a row that they've given up and left off the board. It's still giving the lead to Hayes High.
So a defensive touchdown for Garden City made it 7-6. A Josh Janis 3-yard plunge on 3rd down has made it 13-12 after the extra point was no good. A very impressive drive by Garden City. They converted on 3rd and 7 on a pass of 33 yards to Gerardo Ortega. And then after that, big chunk running plays. Hayes High's defense seemed to be just a little shaken after that particular play. 7:45 to go in the first half. 13-12 Hayes High. Indian football brought to you by High Plains Roofing, Hayes K-Lawn, and Redeem Designs.
You know, something to watch as this game progresses. Hayes High is built around speed, and right there, Garden City is built around weight. And most of the time in those situations, if you're going right up the middle, that weight is going to win. So Hayes High is going to have to make some adjustments. We've seen it do it before. We'll see if they can do it again.
Hayes K-Lawn scoreboard update in the first quarter. Dodge City leading Great Bend 7-0. Same score, Norton over Phillipsburg. In the first quarter, it is now Hoisington 7, TMP 6. Osborne up on Sylvan Lucas in the second quarter, 16-0. La Crosse up on Ellis, 7-0. And McPherson with a 14-6 lead over Abilene. Scoreboard update brought to you by Hayes K-Lawn. Call Kirk Maska or Kurt Viner for the green grass you want in the spring. It starts with spraying in the fall. Kickoff out of bounds. Hayden Brown went over there just to make sure, but Dvorak sent it screaming to the right side, and the wind did the rest. Other scores, Salina South up on campus, 21-12 at halftime. South is in search of their first win of the season. Big game in Wichita tonight, Derby and Bishop Carroll. Derby up on Bishop Carroll, 14-0. Bishop Carroll trying to avoid a second loss. They're 2-1, 5th in the West Half 5A rankings. If it all ended after last week, Hayes High would have been traveling to Bishop Carroll tonight in the Week 9. 7:45 to go in the first half. Hayes High up 13-12. They have gone touchdown, fumble, interception, touchdown, and have the ball for a 5th time. Sun has pretty well set. A few streaks left in the sky. Indians from the 35 after the ball was kicked out of bounds. Their 2 touchdown drives have been 2 plays. Sophomore scoring, Roy Maroney from 73 yards. Dylan Dreiling, his first career touchdown rush from 65. Man in motion is Brown. It's a keeper by Dreiling. Misdirection, gets a block from Kiefer, breaks off a tackle is Dreiling, 45, and then skirts out of bounds. There is a flag on the far side of the field, about 9 yards down the field on the complete opposite side line from where this play occurred.
This may be a holding penalty on Hayes High, which is what you hate to see, especially when it doesn't impact the play at all.
Boy, it is 40 yards away from where the play occurred. And this is a long discussion. It's 9 yards down the field. The official says holding on Hayes High. For Hayes High, that's also a play you have to understand that the play is not coming towards you. It goes down as an 8-yard run up to the 44, make that 43-yard line, but then marked off 10 yards from there.
Dylan Dreiling has taken some nice strides tonight, and just his running, his decision-making abilities, that's what you're hoping to see from these young kids.
So the ball is now at the 33, 1st and 12 instead of 1st and 10 past the 45. Dreiling now with 3 carries, 75 yards. He is over half of his season total of 133 through 3 games. Reuter and Canick to the right. Brown is the blocking back left. Maroney will run behind him. Nope, Dreiling will keep again. He's at the 40. He makes a man miss and gets near the first down marker across the 40 to the 43-yard line.
He must have showed something in practice for them to have this trust in this young man to keep giving him the ball and allowing him to run it. That's a great thing if you can do to your young quarterback.
Picks up 10 on that run. Dreiling, that was the option play left. He decided to pull out of the belly of Maroney. 2nd and 2 now. Maroney slips into the quarterback position. The snap goes through his hands, straight up in the air, right back down to the quarterback, Dylan Dreiling, who catches, gets tackled for a loss back at the 39, and it'll be 3rd down. And boy, Dylan Dreiling gets up shaking his right hand. He's a left-handed quarterback, but he is vigorously trying to shake out that left hand. 3rd and 6 back at the 37-yard line, back at the 39-yard line. The Indians lost 4 yards on the fumble recovery. Lucky to have the football back. This is only the 2nd third down play tonight for the Indians. They had 3rd and 1 and did not convert. Now they have 3rd and 6. 5 seconds to get this play off, and Hayes High is going to take a timeout.
I think
First
that's
use timeout of the half.
I think that's a wise decision. Dylan Dreiling, you mentioned, he's shaking his hand. He keeps grabbing it. He keeps looking at it. He could have come down on it, bent it backwards, overextended. You just never know. He just got to have a stinger in it. But I think this is a smart move by Hayes High. Give him a chance to get some blood back into that hand.
It was a new play that the Indians put in. They have Dreiling at quarterback, Maroney to his right, and then at the last moment they shift, and it puts the running back at the quarterback position, like the Wildcat, but do it late and try to run straight forward. Worked on it a lot in practice, but snap went through the hands of Maroney, and the Indians lucky not to have turned it over for a 3rd time. Hayes High coming into tonight on offense had already turned it over 8 times. That's 2 more tonight, 10 for the season. They have forced just 4 turnovers through 3.5 games. Hayes High is -6 in the turnover category.
If they'd have turned that over, that would have been 6 for Garden City. There was nobody there to stop it. So luckily, again, that tip drill we just talked about, they worked on it, and Dylan went up and got it and brought it back home.
Indian football brought to you by USD 489. At the USD 489 halftime show, our spotlight interview brought to you by Redeem Designs is going to be Mark Watts and the Hayes High Indian golf team, who picked up a 1st and 2nd place finish as a team this week. 3rd and 6 for Hayes High. Maroney in motion out of the backfield. They fake a screen his way, go to Brown over the middle. 40 needs to make a man miss. He'll get the 1st down as he gets flung to the 46-yard line. 1st down on a well-designed misdirection screen to Hayden Brown.
And that's what you want your running backs to do. Keep your feet going so that after first contact, you can get that extra yards. That's exactly what happened for Hayden Brown there.
Now Hayes High quickly back to the line of scrimmage after the first catch and completion of the night. Dreiling barks out the signals, now stands and looks to the left. That's the Hayes High sideline where the signals are given in. 3 wide receivers to the right. Carson Kiefer, the lone one, to the left. It's a handoff to Maroney. Straight ahead, no play action pass, and it's batted down at the line of scrimmage. The tall defense for Garden City has Trey Newsom over there. He is 6'4", 208, and he bats it down at the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 from the 46.
And that throw was just a little low. It looked like it dipped out of his hand a little bit.
Dreiling 1 for 3 on the night passing for just 7 yards. 7 yards on the night. Hayes High up 13-12. Garden City starts the 2nd half with the football. It's a keeper by the quarterback, Dreiling. Squirts around the first guy, around the second. Now he's at the 40, 35. A player jumps on his back. 1st down into Garden City territory at the 35-yard line. Dylan Dreiling bouncing off of tackles, gets into Garden City territory, officially marked down at the 33.
And this is a role that usually Hayden Brown takes for Hayes High, is to take that quarterback keeper, run it up the middle, but he's handed that role off to Dylan Dreiling tonight.
102 yards tonight for Dylan Dreiling. 5:27 to go in the half. Indians by a point. They're on the plus side of the field at the 33, going right to left. Handoff Maroney. He's got some room to run. 30, 25, cuts back behind a block from Hayden Brown. 15, 10, cut back again. 5, into the end zone. Touchdown Hayes High Indians. There are 10 maroon jerseys in the end zone to celebrate with Roy Maroney, and Roy Maroney has his 2nd touchdown run of the night. 19-12, Indians up by 7 with 5:12 to go in the half.
Something I talk about with my flag football boys is this game is a game of deception, hiding the football. And Roy Maroney did a great job of hiding that ball in his gut until he was ended around. They had no idea the ball was there, and he was off to the races.
One of the things that helped that out was all the keepers by Dylan Dreiling. Dylan and Roy Maroney run that belly fake option. That time Maroney got it. Nobody picked up on number 2, and he made his way into the end zone. Had to cut his way around a few people to get in there, but had Hayden Brown blocking down the field along with some offensive linemen. The extra point by Matt Goodale is up and good. He's 2 for 3 tonight. 20-12, 8-point lead for the Hayes High Indians, just a touch over 5 minutes until halftime.
Well, that was a beautiful kick that Matthew just kicked. You know, we're used to these little things that barely scrape by, go up and down. That one was a great kick. He's making some progress as this night goes along.
Roy Maroney, 33-yard touchdown run, along with his 73-yard touchdown run, and he's got a 1-yard run sandwiched in between there, has 107 yards tonight. Dylan Dreiling has 102 yards rushing tonight. Hayes High has just 7 yards passing, but when you have an 8-point lead with 5:12 to go in the half against 6A Garden City, You take it and you run with it, literally running with it tonight.
Last week we talked that they were going to pull Roy Maroney off of defense and allow him to focus more on offense, to use his speed, to utilize him. And tonight we're seeing these last 2 weeks really pay off for Roy. He's doing a great job running the ball.
Hayes High, outside of their 2 turnovers, have scored on every drive tonight. The only team to stop Hayes High offensively is Hayes High. 20-12 to go in the half. Indian football brought to you by Adams Brown Baron and Ball, Shelter Insurance Agent Dustin Shoemaker. And I don't know how much action Matt Goodale thought he was going to see in his first career varsity game. The senior soccer player is kicking off for a 4th time in the first half, and he's 2 for 3 on extra points.
You got to wonder how much confidence these kids are starting to gain. They're starting to see some success on the offensive side of the ball, which is something they haven't seen all year. You know, the focus has been on defense. The defense has carried it. Now the offense is starting to do their part.
Molehills into mountains, and Hayes High is trying to turn that molehill of one stop at the end of last week's game in Liberal in overtime to win into a mountain of momentum. End over end, sidewinding kick. Durst fumbles inside the 5. It's still loose at the 3. He reverses field to the left, makes a man miss, and falls down before the 15-yard line. Well, welcome to the game, Matt Goodale. The Indians have a new weapon kicking the football, and Garden City has the ball inside their own 15-yard line to start this drive.
And we talked earlier the importance of that kicking game. Last time Garden City kicked it out of bounds. Hayes High started at the 35. This time Hayes High got a beautiful kick, and they're inside the 15-yard line. Field position makes all the difference.
Marked at the 14, Hayes High's defense has given up just 6 points. It was the offense that gave up the other 6 on a fumble. Carlos Acosta takes the snap, hands off Janice left side, turns the corner, has some room behind big Refugio Cherez, and that's a big first down run. That offensive line starting to wear down the Hayes High defense a little bit. Refugio Cherez, 6'1", 298, squats over 700 pounds, leads the way out to the 26-yard line on a gain of 12.
And surprisingly, that kid was quick. He got out in front fast and made some key blocks there and opened up the way.
He is committed to Missouri Southern. He has had every MIAA Division II school after him. Shotgun formation. Biera leads the way on the blocking. The Indians miss 1, 2, 3 tackles. Tucker Veach and Tavian Kramer combine for the tackle up across the 30 to the 33-yard line. It's a gain of 7 for Janis, who has rushed 17 times for 85 yards, but now Garden City is really starting to take off some chunk plays. We'll have 2nd and 3 from their own 33.
But when you run that much, your defensive line is going to get beat up. They are ready for halftime, or they're ready to take a break for a couple plays, get some substitutions in there. They've got to figure this out, because this is going to get worse and worse as the game goes on.
Devontae Robinson, Gavin Nutting, Trey Adams, and Gavin Hazelhorst are the 4-down linemen. Indians show the blitz. They bring the blitz. It's a keeper by Acosta. The Indians run right by him. Acosta in the clear, and Tucker Veach grabs on and hangs on for dear life as Acosta gets up to the 50-yard line, and it's a first down on a gain of 17 by Carlos Acosta. If Tucker Veach isn't there, it's a 6 for Garden City.
Yeah, this defensive line for Hayes High is starting to break down, starting to get worn out. Halftime can't get here fast enough for these kids.
There's still 3:36 between now and the locker room, and Garden City gets the ball to start the second half. Hayes High leads at 8. You felt good at 20-12, but all of a sudden the Garden City offense is starting to gain some momentum, and it's all because of the rushing game. Acosta with Janis to his left from midfield, wants to throw, looks left, looking deep. Tavian Kramer on defense is able to get in front of the wide receiver. Great defense by Tavian Kramer, who's really taken some strides. Full-time starter a year ago. He has done a very good job, especially in these last 2 games, in playing some great defense, not interfering with the receiver.
Right, and what happened on that play is he had to change his hips in the direction he was running, and he did that as he turned his head, and he got himself into position to slow the receiver down without getting in the way, without drawing a penalty. That's a great job by this young man.
After 8, 7, and 17 yards rushing, Garden City went to the air. Do they go back to the ground on 2nd and 10 from the 50? They do. Keeper Acosta tries the counter play left, gets by Kramer. Veach is there to make the tackle along with Gavin Myers, but it's 10 yards to the 40 and another first down.
This is what we said at the beginning that Garden City likes to do. They like to run the ball. This is what they want to do. And Hayes High has got to put a stop of them and get it outside their comfort zone.
It was a fake toss right. Acosta kept and went left. He has not run this year near as much as he did last year, just overall. He ran 39 times against Hayes High He ran 36 times all season coming into tonight for the 0-3 Garden City Buffaloes. Vieira, the blocking back right, along with 2 wide receivers. It's going to be a turn and handoff. Janis the opposite way to the left. Boy, Gavin Myers gets held onto and thrown to the ground. Janis gets run onto, fumbles the football late, but the official says down by contact as Tucker Veach again saves a tackle, this time inside the 20, down to the 17-yard line. That's a gain of 23 yards for Janis, who is now over 100 yards.
Yeah, but you can't help but wonder if they just got away with it, because like you said, Gavin Myers was thrown to the ground, and it wasn't a block. He grabbed a hold of him. Hayes High, just an unlucky break right there.
Hayes High is going to take a timeout. They need it. Second used timeout. They'll use this one on defense with 2:33 to go. And Garden City right now literally is running all over the Hayes High Indian defense, all on the ground. They threw one time incomplete on this drive, but runs of 8, 7, 17, 10, and 23 yards on this drive, on a drive that started inside the 15 at the 14-yard line.
Well, and this is something Garden City hasn't been able to do in their season. So quickly they've fallen behind in that first quarter. We talked about the big first quarters that their opponents have had, but now they're able to keep their game plan all game long, and this is why they've got that big offensive line. They're able to wear down the defensive line of their opponents. This is exactly what they want to do.
To your point, Garden City averages 153 rushing yards per game. They have 152 with 2:33 to go second quarter. Score update for you. It is Smith Center 14, Plainville 7 in a battle of 2A undefeated teams. Colby 14, Beloit 0 at halftime. Derby 14, Carroll 0 at halftime. And Dodge City blanking Great Bend 21-0 in the second quarter. Great Bend lost in a shutout fashion to Wichita Northwest last week. They're losing tonight to Dodge City, who's 3-0 and won against Wichita Heights in Wichita in overtime last night on a Bo Foster touchdown run. They won 26-23. First and 10 inside the 15. Handoff Janis, and there is the stop by Gavin Hazelhorst, who almost took the handoff himself back at the 21-yard line. Hello, Gavin Hazelhorst, the leading tackle for a loss in the Western Athletic Conference, gets his 10th on the year.
That is a blown assignment by the Garden City line. No one put a hand on Gavin Hazelhorst. Like you said, he almost took the ball himself. This kid is quick.
Josh Janis right now has no idea what hit him. It happened that fast. 2 minutes for halftime. 2 wide receivers right. Vieira, the blocking back that way. Acosta will take the shotgun snap. He's going to play action. Roll, get hit as he throws. It's a completion to Reyes in the middle of the field on the screen. Trey Adams obliterates Carlos Acosta in the backfield, but not in time, and it's going down to the 10-yard line on the screen play completion to Reyes, his first catch.
Well, and those are the hits that stick with a young quarterback. He's going to be watching for Trey Adams every time he drops back for the pass, and that could play in his head.
Acosta now 4 for 8, 49 yards. Third down, and we'll call it 3. Garden City is 3 for 7 on third down tonight. 3 for 6, on third down. 2 wide receivers right. Vieira, the blocking back left. It's a handoff, and the running back Janis runs right behind him all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. It's going to be a gain of 6 yards. And first and goal from the 4 for Garden City. That is 20 carries for Josh Janis so far.
Yeah, we talk about how Hayes High's defense is getting tired. Janis is already 20 carries in this half. His legs are going to start wearing on him real soon.
Well, it better be quick because the kid looks fresh. 3 timeouts to go still for Garden City. They have the ball first and goal from the 4, 50 seconds before halftime. Janis to the left of Carlos Acosta on this first and goal play from the 4. Hayes High shows a blitz up the middle. Acosta keeps, runs up the middle, and he skirts into the end zone untouched. Touchdown. Hayes High had a chance at him. Garden City will go for 2 to try to tie this game 20-18 with 40 seconds to go. Garden City all on the ground except for one play. Just bulldozes their way 86 yards for a touchdown.
Well, we'll see if Garden City goes for 2 here. You know, they've been running the ball very, very well. I wouldn't be surprised if they do it again here and tie this ball game up.
The offense stays out there. And now Garden City wants a timeout. This may be more on what play they want to call. Their kicking game tonight has been a bad snap and a kick wide right on their previous 2 touchdowns. Indian football brought to you by Hayes High Athletic Booster Club and Classic Quality Body Shop. And all of a sudden, the Garden City ground game is off and going as Carlos Acosta scores his 2nd rushing touchdown of the year, first tonight. This one from 4 yards out.
I kind of expect to see this beefy lineup like we saw in their last touchdown. to come out and try to push their way into the end zone. You know, you alluded to it earlier. They found something that works, and they get the ball back second half. Hayes High has got to be ready, make some good halftime adjustments, come out and find a way to stop that run.
An 11-play, 86-yard drive. Hayes High had just taken a 20-12 lead. That was with 5:12 to go in the half, and the place is jumping. Everybody's feeling good, and then Garden City runs right down the field. And good crowd tonight here at Lewis Field Stadium. It was a late arriving crowd, as kind of happens, and on homecoming, and it's a full Lewis Field home side tonight. Homecoming at halftime. Again, our Redeem Designs halftime spotlight interview with Mark Watson, the Hayes High Indian Lady Golf team. 3 wide receivers all bunched together on the right side on this 2-point conversion. Indians lead by 2, 20-18 right before halftime. Man in motion. It's going to be an option throw left side, caught, touchdown, Garden City. Wide open, Lane Durst. We are knotted up at 20. Hayes will have 40 seconds in the ball before the half, and then Garden City starts the second half with the football.
Yeah, I think the Hayes High Indians were thinking exactly what we were. You know, run, 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 run. It's worked. It got yardage. There was nobody out there guarding him, and it was an easy pass, easy 2 points.
Acosta to Durst. Durst went in motion from the right side to the middle of the formation, then back to the right side, and maybe the misdirection threw off the Indians just a little bit. So Hayes High may get a chance to return. The last kick was pointed out of bounds, and it went that way the moment it left the kicker's foot. Hayes High has had leads of 7-0, 7-6, 13-6, 13-12, 20-12, and now we're knotted up at 20 apiece. Jaron Canick, who was a punt return for a touchdown this year, and Hayden Brown, who should have had a kick return last week for a touchdown, had 2 a year ago, back to return at about the 15-yard line. And the kicker for Garden City, Micah Dvorak, will line this ball up just inside the right hash at the 40, and he's taking a short approach to this. This will be a very short kick by Dvorak. Can the Indians get a good return, have a chance to do something with it? It is a pretty good kick. Canick, Brown will let it bounce. He'll pick it up at the 5-yard line. Left return 10, 15, has a block 20, tackled from behind, no, gets away, 30, spin move, 35-yard line. 30-yard kickoff return. It's the exact same as if he would have kicked it out of bounds. But with 31 seconds left, as Hayes High get aggressive, they've got 3 long touchdown runs tonight.
Well, that was set up by the Hayes High front line and the middle line. They came back, they set up their wall perfectly, and they gave Hayden Brown a chance to run.
2 wide receivers right, 2 to the left. 31 seconds to go before halftime, 20 all. How aggressive does Hayes High get with 1 timeout? 4 down linemen for Garden City. White tops, white helmet, brown pants. Dreiling throwing tonight, 1 for 3. For 7 yards. Shotgun snap, handoff Maroney, no play action pass. Over the middle, it is almost intercepted. And Dylan Dreiling pats his chest. Jaron Canick had gotten behind the defense. He had a chance to go the distance, incomplete, and Hayes High lucky they didn't turn it over for a 3rd time in the first half.
Well, that almost looked like some miscommunication. Hayden Brown came across the way. It almost looked like he turned the wrong way. Dylan thought he was going a different way. They got to get on the same page if they're going to make something happen.
At halftime, it is Dodge City 21, Great Bend 0 in Dodge City. Handoff, Maroney, left side, 35, 40. He gets tackled at the 45-yard line. Does Hayes High call a timeout? They have 1 left. There's 18 on the clock as it continues to run down to 15, and Hayes High will use that timeout. Their 3rd and final timeout, and boy, that's one where head coach for Hayes High, Tony Crow's telling Roy, get out of bounds, let's save the timeout. 14 seconds on the clock, and Hayes High likely here with 1 final play.
You know, but that was a good play because it's going to keep Garden City honest, at knowing that Hayes High is willing to run it and give a shot what's worked tonight. You know, that has worked several times to get out on the end, to get in the open field, and you let them use their speed. Let's see how Garden City defends this next play.
Hayes High tied with Garden City at 20 apiece. Trying to put Garden City at 0-4 for the first time under Coach Brian Hill. 4-time Western Athletic Conference Coach of the Year, now in his 10th season with the Buffaloes. He was at the community college in Garden City prior to that. His son Peyton plays on this field at Lewis Field Stadium in Hayes for Coach Chris Brown at Fort Hays State University. Chris's son, Hayden, is on the Hayes High Indian team. See how this all comes full circle? Canick and Reuter, wide receivers right. Kiefer, the lone back to the left, lone wide receiver left, and now Hayden Brown, a third wide receiver to the right. Third down, and they call it 1 from just behind the 45-yard line. 14 seconds to go before the half. Maybe the last play before the break. Hayes High will stand and check the sideline. Do they audible? Play clock down to 1. They get the snap off. Handoff Maroney straight up the middle. First down, but Hayes High has no timeouts left. So Hayes High now with the clock stopped and trying to get lined up so that they can throw an incomplete pass. This ball is snapped. The throw is in the dirt with 5 seconds to go before the half, and Hayes High will have one heave from the 50.
Well, and that goes right back to the other play. They could have used their timeout here at this play if they would have gotten out of bounds on the run, but instead they stayed in bounds, and now
the clock continued to run, so they're going to need to put 5 or 6 seconds back onto the clock here. So they'll need to radio up to the booth and then go communicate with the clock that it should have stopped on the incomplete pass, the non-intentional, intentional grounding to stop the clock.
Yeah. You know, you talk about that. That actually Dylan made a smart play there, throwing it out to the feet of his receiver and just straight down to the ground.
So from the 50, Hayes High trying to break a tie right before halftime. 6 seconds put onto the clock. 3 wide receivers right. Garden City playing way off the line of scrimmage. It's a pass over the middle, is getting hit, is Dreiling, and it's thrown an interception. Garden City's got a chance to return this, but Carson Kiefer makes sure that it is not. It is an interception thrown by Dylan Dreiling and picked off by Philip Vieira. The Indians' third turnover of the first half. At halftime, we're knotted up at 20 on the Hayes High Sports Network, powered by Thirsties and the Venue. Okay, get me the touchdown by Maroney.
up at least an equal fight to this Garden City offensive line because they figured out that they are much bigger than Hayes High, and that's going to play a key role in this second half.
Apparently it goes down as a unsportsmanlike conduct penalty is what the official said it was because of the not making out in time. I thought it was a delay of game, but nonetheless, so Indians' second penalty, and Garden City will kick off from the Hayes High 45-yard line. Hayes High is going to need a hustle out to get this kickoff return here, as Garden City is already out and set up. 12-minute halftime, or 12 minutes put onto the third quarter clock. This halftime was already 20 minutes long, extra time for the homecoming festivities. Another 3 minutes put on the clock for the mandatory warm-up, and both teams taking plenty of time getting ready for the second half.
Well, and Garden City's teeing up, and Hayes High is yet to get set.
They are now jogging out there. Will Dvorak have a kick into the end zone? It would be his second touchback of the year. He kicks off from the Hayes High 45-yard line. Hayes High will just let it bounce into the end zone. Once it crosses that end zone marker, it becomes a dead ball. So Hayes High will start at their own 20-yard line. 6 possessions in the first half, 3 touchdowns, 3 turnovers, a fumble, and 2 interceptions. Hayes High is -3 in the turnover category tonight, yet they find themselves in a 20-all tie with a chance to take the lead.
You know, that may not seem like a big deal, but those are the types of things that are going to wear and make a team think. That could play a major role if they're not able to shake it off.
2 right, 2 left. Roy Maroney to the right of quarterback Dylan Dreiling. Both have run for 100-plus yards tonight. Hayden Brown in the slot to the left. It's an option play. Handoff Maroney, 20, 25-yard line. Gets a block from Kiefer, 35. Cuts back right. Gets a block from Jaron Canick, 45. He's at midfield. Cuts back to the middle of the field on the right hash and down to the Garden City 45-yard line. How about the downfield vision of Roy Maroney, but then the blocking by the wide receivers.
Yeah, you hit it right on the head. Roy Maroney made 3 or 4 adjustments to his running path right there and was able to pick up a whole bunch of extra yardage.
35 yards on the run, his third 30-yard plus run tonight. Now has 158 yards on just 6 carries. Dreiling made a great read as well to give that football off. 2 in the backfield for running backs. Maroney in motions out. Handoff Brown right up the middle. And that offensive line blows a hole open for 4.5 yards, just shy of the Garden City 40.
And that's a scheme change that we said is going to help because those are plays that haven't worked the past 3 weeks, going right up the middle. But because they've been on the outside, Hayden Brown was able to go up the middle.
From just shy of the 40-yard line of Garden City. Hayes High with the football in a 20-all game. 2 wide receivers left. Option play. Keeper Dreiling bounces to the right, makes one man miss, and then gets run over by 2 white-jerseyed Garden City Buffaloes. That'll be at the 38.5. We'll mark it at the 39-yard line. Gain of 2 for Dreiling. And now third down for an Indian team that was 2 for 3 on third downs in the first half. This is 3rd and 4 from the Garden City 44, or excuse me, from the Garden City 39-yard line. Does this become 4-down territory for the Indians? Maroney behind and to the left of Dreiling. It's a handoff, no keeper by Dreiling. Tries to bounce it out to the left side. Stiff arm gets him the first down and then rushed out of bounds by the defensive back, cornerback Micah Perez. His dad ran cross country here at Fort Hays State University. Conversion on 3rd and 4 down to the 31-yard line. It's a gain of 8 by Dylan Dreiling.
Well, they've done a nice job of running that play all night and keeping Garden City guessing.
2 wide receivers to the right. Carson Kiefer to the left on this first down play from the 31. Indians got the big 35-yard run by Roy Maroney to start the half. Maroney is now to the right side of right tackle Brock Loomis. Pass left side for Canick. Canick catches the 30, makes a man miss. His jersey being tugged on. He'll continue to turn his feet and get down to the 28-yard line. It'll be a gain of 3, maybe 4 yards on first down.
Well, that's a pass that Jaron Canick has dropped several times this season because he's looked downfield before he's made the catch. That time he did a good job of keeping his eyes on Dylan, knowing where the ball's at, making the catch, and then turning.
Canick's 13th catch of the year. He ranks 3rd in the Western Athletic Conference in yards and 2nd in pass receptions. 2nd down and 7 after the 3-yard gain. 3 wide receivers left. Pass that way to Canick, and it bounces in. And if that ball gets to Canick, he scores. Carson Kiefer had locked up the defensive back Micah Perez. Canick catches. He jogs into the end zone. 3rd down and 7 for the Hayes High Indians.
Well, that throw was very rushed, and it was unnecessary. Dylan Dreiling had a great pocket. He just rushed that throw, didn't take his time and set his feet.
Long throw from the right hash all the way over to the left sideline and just could not quite get it there. Kiefer and Brown, wide receivers left. Canick and Reuter on the skinny side of the field to the right. Indians right to left. 3rd down again on this drive. Back to passes, Dreiling. Looking over the left, it's incomplete. And good thing for Roy Maroney that he did not make that catch, because Zane Burns would have lit him up. So Hayes High, after moving the ball successfully, rushing the ball, go 3 yards on 3 passes and have 4th down and 6. Make it 4th down and 7 from the 28-yard line. Hayes High 1 for 1 on 4th down tonight on what was supposed to be a punt, but the Hayes High Indians punter Hayden Brown had to run for it. Indians on the year are 5 for 14 on 4th down. This 4th and 6 from the 28. Dreiling rolls out to his left. Looking down the field, it is tipped and incomplete. Getting a hand on it was Micah Perez. A very promising drive. Ends up losing the ball on downs. The Indians had rushed the ball 4 times to get down to the 31-yard line, then 4 passes and lost the ball on downs.
Right, they just completely went away from what was working. You know, sometimes if it's not broken, don't fix it. Keep rolling with the horse that got you there.
From the 28, Garden City will have the ball and a chance to take the lead for the first time tonight. They just put their heads down and ran right over the Indians in that latter half of the 2nd quarter. Do they do the same thing here? Carlos Acosta with Josh Janis behind him, who ran the ball 20 times in the first half. Carlos Acosta takes the snap, hands off to Janis, tries to go off tackle left, has a hole, and gets good yards on 1st down to the 35. Right now, this is just off tackle left, off tackle right. Left tackle Trey Newsom and right tackle Caden Whitehurst, 208 and 230, are bulldozing their way and locking in the defensive ends and not allowing Hayes High to make a tackle. 8 yards for Janis on 1st down.
Well, and this is what we talked about at the beginning of the game. Hayes High needed to avoid these 2nd and 3rd and shorts.
Ball to the 36, 2nd down and 2. Acosta turns, hands off to Janis. This one straight up the gut and holding on and trying to avoid giving up a touchdown again as Tucker Veach, the safety, makes the tackle at the 49-yard line, gain of 13.
We talked that Hayes High needed to make some kind of an adjustment to stop this, and so far, if they made one, it is not showing.
And now officials timeout, apparently wrong football on the field. Indian football is brought to you by Roof Masters Taco Shop at Gibbs Auto Supply. Hayes High, promising drive, lost the ball on downs. They've turned it over 3 times, 2 via interception, 1 fumble, and now that loss of ball on downs. Ball to the 49-yard line. Hayes High defense played very well early, but Garden City just ran right at them in the 2nd quarter, and 9 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. It's a 20-all ball game after Garden City scored with 40 seconds to go in the first half and then converted a 2-point conversion pass. Hayes High brings an outside blitz. Acosta play action pass, throws it up deep, wide open receiver, easy catch and touchdown, and Garden City has their first lead of the night. It is a touchdown for Lane Durst. And the Hayes High Indians trail 26-20. Hayes High bit on the play action pass.
Yeah, that was busted coverage. Whoever was supposed to stay home and watch for that over the top didn't, and they didn't stand, Hayes High didn't stand a chance of stopping them. He was off to the races.
51 yards on the touchdown pass to Lane Durst, his 2nd catch of the night, his first touchdown catch of the season. He had 11 receptions, 233 yards coming into tonight. And that's his first touchdown reception. Now on to attempt the extra point, Micah Dvorak. And this one is through the upright. And it is 27-20. So the Indians' promising drive lost the ball on downs. Instead, Garden City now, with 8:39 to go in the 3rd quarter, has their first lead of the game.
So far this 2nd half, everything has gone Garden City's way. Hayes High is not out of this. It's still early, still very early to make those adjustments, put up some stops, but they've got to do it now.
Hayes High down for the first time in this ball game.
Well, and here's where you've got to tell your youth, you know, they came out very excited and ready to play, and they had some good things. And oftentimes when youth have something go wrong early, they can start to hang their head. Here's where they're going to huddle up. They're going to say it's one play, one score. We're right back in it on this after this offensive drive.
Hayes High has scored from deep today, 73 yards, 33 yards, and 65 yards. They had put together a sustained drive into Garden City territory and could not convert on 3rd and 4th and 7. This kickoff from the 40. Dvorak to kick to Brown and Kanik, who stand back at the 10. Dvorak takes a 3-yard approach to the football and gets a good foot into it. Brown can return from the 13-yard line, sets up a left hash return, 20, 25, 30. Now he cuts back to the 35, trying to outrun the kicker to the right side, 40, 45-yard line into Garden City territory, and he gets run out of bounds eventually by the kicker all the way into Garden City territory, just shy of the 35-yard line. Says that pushed out at the 37 on a kickoff return by the Hayes High Indians. Hayden Brown, that one will go for 51 yards.
Hayes High's kick return does a great job of getting back, setting up that wedge to not let anybody get close to Hayden Brown, let Hayden Brown get up to full speed, and let him do what he does.
So Hayes High will start in Garden City territory at the 37-yard line. Down 27-20, 8:26 to go, third quarter. One wide receiver right, two to the left, Maroney to the right of quarterback, Dylan Dreiling. Belly option, keeper Dreiling cuts to the left, 35. Nope, won't quite get there. Now a flag comes in late on the play. Fletcher and Cherez mix it up in the backfield. Cherez doesn't play much defense, but the two have played against each other for 6 years, and it's a face mask on Refugio Cherez and the Garden City defense. Hayes High will get the 2 yards and then 15 yards on the penalty against Garden City, their 4th of the night.
Well, the one thing we want to see on this drive is Hayes High can stay true to their game plan. You know, last drive, Hayes High kind of got out of their rhythm, and it threw them off, and the drive stalled. Let's see if Hayes High can stay true to that and get some points on the board.
3 yards to the 21-yard line. Hayes High with 20 points on the board has not been in the red zone yet tonight. It's a handoff to Brown. Brown tests the right side, dances at the 20, gets hit once at the 19 and driven down on his right hip by the cornerback, Christian Reyes. Gain of 2 on first down on a stretch play that went to the right sideline.
And you get the feeling that Hayden Brown is about ready to take this team on his shoulders like we've seen him do all season. And when they needed something to go right, they've done it with Hayden Brown, and it's his time to go.
Maroney 158 on the ground, Dylan Dreiling 114, Brown with 40. He'll be off the left hip of Remington Cox, the left tackle, for this second down play. Dreiling rolls out to pass, looking left, now will tuck and run. He's at the 15, he's at the 10, puts a shoulder into a defender, and is going to get to the 6-yard line. Dylan Dreiling showing some moxie on that run, will pick up 13 yards.
Well, and once again, he lowered his shoulder, something he hasn't done all year. Whatever Tony Crow said to him this week, whatever they worked on is working for this young man right now.
Hayes High into the red zone where they're 4 for 5 this year. 4 touchdowns, 2 rushing, 2 passing. They've lost the ball once on downs in the red zone. Hayes High will hustle to the offensive line. Everybody unbalanced line to the right. Brown is the quarterback, takes the snap. He's going to option play. Go to the right, cut to the left, run over a defender and put himself into the end zone. Touchdown, Hayes High Indians. Hayden Brown into the end zone for the first time tonight, the 4th time this season and 16th time in his career.
And it wasn't just one man that he took 2 of them. Kept his feet driving, pushed his way into the end zone. The senior made it happen.
And the Hayes High Indians an extra point away from tying the ball game up with 6:54 to go in the third quarter. I don't know if either team will pass the ball for the remainder of the night. Of course, I guess Garden City just scored on that long play-action pass. So Matt Goodale in to attempt the extra point. Good snap, Veach with the hold. The kick is up. The kick is going to miss, and the Indians trail 27-26.
Yeah, you got to hand it to Matt Goodell to come in on a week, 1 week practice and kick as much as he has, and he's done a fairly good job tonight, kicking it, making some extra points, putting the Hayes High Indians, giving them some good field position behind their back. Good job to the senior.
The Hayes High Indians down a point, 27-26. Now can the defense solve the riddle of the Garden City offense that has gone ground game and then went play action pass, and it was a well-called play action pass by Garden City. Hayes High was showing blitz, and they brought everybody on Josh Janis, who has rushed the ball 22 times tonight for 131 yards. Janis has done all the dirty work. He has scored just one touchdown out of the 27 points on the board for Garden City. Remember, Garden City got a defensive score early in the first quarter that really kind of turned the course of this game. Their offense had gone a total of 12 plays and punted the football away twice, but then a bad snap resulted in Garden City getting a touchdown, making it a 7-6 game, and Hayes High has not been able to escape Garden City since.
Yeah, Hayes High, I think, had a sense that this was going to be their game where everything went their way. But you're right. One play that can turn the momentum, can swing it. You talked about turning a molehill into a mountain, and that was it for Garden City.
Now to kick off is going to be Goodale. Gets a good foot into this one. High end over end kick. This will go over Durst's head. Fumbles again just outside of the 10-yard line. Gets hit at the 20 and hammered at the 25. That was Devontae Robinson. And Garden City returners are feeling the effects of the special teams tonight.
Yeah, that's something we haven't been able to talk about a whole lot going Hayes High's way this season is a special teams unit, but they have got it figured out now that they've got a kicker that can give them time to get down the field. And I was watching Matt Goodell on that play, and he was going down the field with them. This young man is tough.
You touch on that. Those are high kicks from Goodale. We watched him warm up. That's not the same kick his first 2 or 3 were, but he figured it out off that tee pretty quick. Durst, who has a touchdown reception, but kind of bent over at the knees, is the wide receiver far to the left. He took a hard hit on that return. Slot receiver left, and then Ortega, the freshman, to the right, his first varsity game. Janis comes up to get the play from the quarterback, Acosta. Fake left, goes right, big hole for Janis. Watch out, 35-40. Indians miss 2 arm tackles. Von Felt gives up, almost gets the tackle, and eventually it's Hazelhorst at the Hayes High 40 that makes the tackle. And another big run for the Garden City offense.
The Garden offensive line just swallowed up the entire defensive line for Hayes High. Now you got to give Gavin Hazelhorst some credit. He did get downfield to stop that from turning into 6 points, but Hayes High has got to figure this out.
35 yards in the ball to the Indian, 39-yard line on that run, so make it 36 yards on that carry. Each team starting off drives with big runs. Acosta with that shotgun. Does he go play action pass? Takes the helmet high snap. It's a handoff to Janis. Goes left side, and the Indians there that time to meet him. Gavin Hazelhorst, Gavin Myers combined for the tackle. A yard deep in the backfield at the 40.
Yeah, the Gavin twins, something that we've called all season. The Gavin twins did a good job of breaking that line, and now we'll see how they come out here on this 2nd down and long.
It's the first negative play of the second half for Garden City. From the 40 left to right for Garden City, and they're visiting white uniforms, trying to win for the first time this year. They've never been 0-4 under Coach Brian Hill in his 10th season. Indians bring a delayed blitz. Play action pass. Acosta hit as he throws. It's going to be tipped and incomplete. There's 2 number 3s battling, and a late flag comes in from official 20 yards away, calling pass interference on the Indians. Tavian Kramer, there's an official who's 5 yards away from the play, and they call it from 20 yards away.
You know, but I hate to say it, I think that might be the right call. Tavian was all over the receiver's back, and if that's a position you're in and you jump up and make contact with him, it's going to go against you most of the time.
Well, the crowd is not going to agree with you on this one, Matt Dumler.
I know, but you got to call it like you see it.
15 yards on the penalty. So from the 40, the ball will be marked off to the 25, and will end up being a first down. Now they marked it off 16 yards. It needs to go back to the 25 there, fellas. Well, they'll give them an extra yard, apparently. The ball was back at the 40.
And I'm really glad the Hayes High coaches cannot hear me through this soundproof divider.
Yeah. Well, they not pleased are the Hayes High Indians. Felt like they had a good coverage on that one. 2 wide receivers right, 1 to the left. And now Garden City approaching the red zone, leading by 1, 27-26. Turn and hand off to the new back into the ball game. That is Eric Dominguez, run out of bounds just inside the 20 at the 18-yard line. It's a gain of 5, make it a gain of 6 on first down.
Well, and anytime you can rotate your backs in and out of that and they have the same success, that goes right back to that offensive line. Those big guys don't get called out enough, but they are big, they're quick, and they're doing a great job for Garden City tonight.
I have that down as his first carry of the night after Janice had run the ball 24 times. 2 wide receivers right, 1 to the left. Vieira, the blocking back to the left of quarterback Carlos Acosta. Slow snap, handoff Dominguez straight up the middle, and he gets cut under right at the first down marker at the 19-yard line. The official on the far side points to the ground, looks behind him. They'll call it, what will they call it? The officials are going to look at this. Well, it sure looks like a first down, and it is.
Yeah.
Gain of 4 on the run to the 14.
Right now, the defensive line, they've got to give them some help. Hayes High is just getting run all over right now. They've got to make some adjustments, get some things figured out. Typically, Hayes High does a good job of that at halftime, but so far tonight, it hasn't worked.
5 minutes to go in the third quarter. Indians thought they were forcing 3rd and 11, but pass interference gave Garden City 15 yards. Can the Indians overcome the penalty and not let it snowball? Dominguez to the right of Acosta. 2 wide receivers to the right. Vieira tied in left. They run that way, and Gavin Hazelhorse is going to run over the running back again, nearly taking the handoff himself. The 3rd tackle for loss tonight for Gavin Hazelhorse, giving him 12 on the season.
Well, and it doesn't matter if he is open or if he is being blocked. With his quickness, he can be back in the backfield at any time, and he did it just right there. That offensive lineman was right there with him.
That is a loss of 5 yards on the play, back to the 19. Garden City into the red zone for the 2nd time tonight. They have 2 rushes for touchdowns from the red zone. On the season now, 8 of 11, all 8 touchdowns are rushes. Vieira motions to the right. Now Dominguez, that is back to Janice, running back left. Carlos Acosta wants to throw, screen pass incomplete, overshoots Vieira. Boy, that was a good play call, but the Indians read it well. Wyatt Crane in coverage. The Indians getting into the backfield. They ran the way of Gavin Hazelhorse, who put the pressure on. 3rd and 15 coming up.
Well, Acosta hasn't had a whole lot of pressure every time he's thrown it, but that time he didn't get a chance to set. And if that may be the solution for Hayes High right there, is that constant pressure.
To your point, Garden City has completed 49% of their passes. They're a little over that tonight. 5 of 9 for 100 yards and a score. 3rd and 15 from the 19. Hayes High shifting on defense. 3 wide receivers, skinny side of the field right. Acosta will take the shotgun snap. Looks left for the screen. Now looks over the middle. It is intercepted. Taken away by the Hayes High Indians. Tucker Veach, 20. He's up the right sideline, 25. Still on his feet, 30. Trying to outrun the defense. Has 1 guy to beat. He's into Garden City territory. Devontae Robinson provides a block, and Tucker Veach run out of bounds as he gets inside the 25-yard line. A mistake by the Garden City offense, and Tucker Veach with the Indians' 2nd interception of the season, the 1st of the junior's career.
And that was made possible because there was a whole lot of pressure in the backfield, and it forced Acosta to throw before he was ready. He wasn't able to put it on the mark, and Tucker Veach read the pass play beautifully, took it the other way.
From the 2-yard line, he returns to the 24 of Garden City. 74-yard interception return by Tucker Veach, and an opportunity for Hayes High to grab a hold of the lead here in the 2nd half. Here's the Indian offense. Option play left. Dreiling is in some trouble. Now he gets his jersey tugged on, gets hit once, twice, and run over. That play went nowhere fast and then went backwards about 3 yards. 2nd down and 13 coming up for the Indians.
Well, and he almost got rid of it. You can see him second-guessing himself as he was doing it, and he knows he should have.
It'll be a loss of 4 on the play. One of the few negative running plays tonight for the Indians. Huge momentum turner for Hayes High. Garden City was ready to go in and score from the red zone. They get a tackle for loss, now an interception, and now trying to make the most of it. A keeper by Dreiling goes right side. Maybe should have handed that one off. Boy, Brown had a huge hole on the right side. And now late flags come in. Boy, that was an aggressive tackle. There was hand fighting down the field, and then the referee from the secondary launches a flag well into the scrum of players at the 17-yard line. Boy, if Hayes High takes a penalty here, an opportunity to seize this game, the penalty is a personal foul against Garden City.
You know, and we talk about these youth things learning, and I think Dylan Dreiling is doing that right now. He's been so excited. He's run the ball so well. He's got to remember that he's got to make the pitch when he has to make the pitch. And I know that sounds very simple, but it's easy for young kids to get caught up in the excitement.
Now the Garden City coaching staff irate with the secondary official. He walks all the way over there and now again approaches the sideline as Hayes High's trying to run a play. And they didn't mark off any yards.
The ball.
So was it offsetting personal fouls? I only saw one personal foul called. Nobody is seeming to complain, so 3rd down and 14, I guess.
Yeah, apparently there was.
For the Hayes High Indians, handoff, Maroney, left side, and he dives down inside the 35. Well, inside the 25. This drive, so promising for Hayes High, all of a sudden has hit a wall. Maroney on 3rd and 14 will move the ball down to the 22-yard line and set up 4th down and 8 after a gain of 6.
Well, and that didn't make sense either because offsetting penalties is usually a replay of down. So who knows what happened with that previous play.
Apparently looked down a little too fast. 27-26, Buffaloes by a point. Indians with 1:30 to go in the 3rd quarter. Got an interception from Tucker Veach, but have gone nowhere since. Dreiling rolls out to his right on this play, looking down the field, twists his body. Takanik at the 2, can't hold on to a catch to his back shoulder. Incomplete. The Indians were moments from taking the lead and turned the ball over on downs for a second time in this half.
That was a huge missed opportunity. Garden City has had their way since the last drive before halftime with his Hayes High defense. Hayes High had a chance to put themselves up and keep the pressure on Garden City, and they just couldn't get there.
Well, that's a catch that I know sophomores are still young, but a catch that you will ask and they will tell you should have made. So the offense back out on the field for Garden City, and Gavin Hazelhorst says, nope, not here, not tonight. I want to tackle you for a loss. The drive started at the 23-yard line. The play caught up in the backfield inside the 20 down to about the 18-yard line, 17-yard line. It's a loss of 4. Hazelhorst's 4th tackle for loss tonight.
And you got to wonder, you know, the running backs for Garden City and the offensive line for Garden City, they've got to get tired with all of this running. They're going to have to keep it in the air at some point to allow them some rest.
2nd and 15 from the 17-yard line for Garden City now. 3 wide receivers left. Indians down a point after threatening to take the lead. Shotgun snap to Acosta. Drops back to pass. Now he wants to run. Scrambles up the left side. Flag on the play. This will come back. That's holding in the backfield.
Yeah, that's a good break for Hayes High because that was a clean 1st down for Garden City. Hayes High needs to take advantage of this.
Maybe a reason that Carlos Acosta was able to get free. Garden City's 5th penalty of the night. That flag thrown behind the 15 at about the 13-yard line. The line of scrimmage was the 17. So they will back it up from there. And Hayes High's defense has an opportunity here, pinning Garden City deep to try to turn the table back to their favor. Hayes down a point. They got an interception return of 74 yards by Tucker Veach. Got all the way down to the 25-yard line, but was unable to cash in. 35 seconds to go, 3rd quarter. It was a tie ball game at halftime, 20 apiece, and now 27-26 on the scoreboard in favor of Garden City. An extra point right now, the difference. Garden City will have to run a play here in this 3rd quarter. 15 on the snap clock, 30 on the 31, make that, on the game clock that is now frozen. Shotgun for Acosta. Handoff and hit, and Gavin Hazelhorst that is Devontae Robinson, his 6th tackle for loss this season. He tackles Janis back at the 5. That's a loss of another 2 yards.
Yeah, it looks like they may have made some minor adjustments between series here, and so far Hayes High is doing a nice job of holding their ground.
Janis' last 3 carries have lost yards, and this will take us to the 4th quarter. 27-26, Indians down a point. Garden City faces 3rd and 27 when we come back from the break here on the Hayes High Sports Network, powered by Thirsties and The Venue.
Well, here we go.
3rd and 27 for Garden City. Now from right to left. Garden City had 3rd and 15 in the third quarter. It's the only 3rd down they faced tonight other than this one. 4 down lineman for Hayes High. Acosta with his feet on the end zone. Hands off to Janis. Runs to the left side, and the tackle made by Gavin Myers at the 9-yard line. Gain of 4 on 3rd and 27.
Yeah, you know, Garden City's just kind of going to get out of that end zone there so they can set up this punt. You'd think pass there to try to get the first down, but they were smarter than that. So now Hayes High is going to get it back, and they're going to get some good field position. You know, Jaron Kanik is waiting back here, waiting for his opportunity to return one and make up for that pass he dropped.
Remember, Dvorak, the punter, has had 3 punts blocked tonight. The Indians have gotten close. Get close, but don't touch him. Dvorak to punt from his own end zone. It's a low snap. The Indians don't get there, and it's a bad punt. Really bad punt, and now it takes a Hayes High bounce inside the 20, inside the 15, down to about the 14-yard line. It is a 5-yard punt, and Hayes High will start in their opponent's red zone with a chance to take the lead.
Well, and they've got the opportunity, but we've seen these things stall out. So here we go. Hayes High, stick with what got you there. Stick with what's working. Let's punch this ball in.
A 5-yard punt, and Hayes High into the red zone for the 2nd time tonight. They'll start officially at the 15-yard line, so it is a 6-yard punt. 2 rights, 1 left. Maroney, who has 2 touchdowns tonight, steps back 2 yards to the right and 2 yards to the behind Dylan Dreiling. Handoff, Brown. Nope, Dylan is going to keep it. He's going to get taken down.
If he would hand that ball off, Hayden Brown is off to the races.
And a loss of 5 back to the 20. Hayes High has started their last 2 drives in Garden City territory at the 25 and at the 15. And so far have negative yards on those 2 drives. 2nd and 15 from the 20. Shotgun for Dreiling. Maroney in motion out of the backfield to the left. Handoff, Brown follows his blockers, gets hit in the backfield and driven down. And the Indians lose another 2 yards back to the 22.
This is not the kind of start you want to this 4th quarter. You know, they have excellent field position. Hayes High's got to find a way to get some points on the board right here.
So now 3rd and 17. The Indians are 3 for 6 tonight on 3rd down. In the second half, they are 1 of 3. On 3rd and 4, they converted. Have not converted on 3rd and 7 and 3rd and 14. Now 3rd and 17 from the 22-yard line after a 6-yard Garden City punt. Indians down a point, 27-26. Screenplay left. Brown with the catch at the 25. At the 20, puts his head down, gets a block from Jaron Kanik. Brown keeps his feet moving inside the 10, and it sets up 4th down, an imaginable short yardage situation for the Hayes High Indians, down to the 7, and an opportunity for the Indians on 4th down and 3.
That was just Hayden Brown deciding he was going to make a play. They got it out to him on that screen pass, and he just kept his feet driven. He was determined to get as close as he possibly could.
The ball down to the 7-yard line. It was a 15-yard screenplay. And you talk about play of the game material right here. Play clock down to 15. Play still coming in from the sideline. This is 4th and 3 from the 7. They need to get down to about the 4, and Hayes High is going to take a timeout, sensing the level of this play. Down a point with 9:41 to go in the game. Hayes High started this drive at the Garden City 14-yard line. Garden City was back at their 5, got out to the 9 on a run, and then following that play, punted the football on 4th down for 6 yards, but Hayes High has been unable to take advantage of the last 2 drives starting in Garden City territory.
Well, not only is could this be a game-changer play for the offense if they score, but if it could also be a game-changer if they fail to score, because what kind of mentality are they going to have now? 2 times down there, failed 2 times. They would start questioning. Big drive opportunity right here.
Hayes Kalon scoreboard update. Norton in the 4th quarter up on Phillipsburg 39-14. Smith Center over Plainville 34-7. May South has taken their first lead over Arc City 19-15. Big Refugio Cherez checks in at the defensive tackle for the Garden City Buffaloes. 9:41 to go in the game. Brown will be at the quarterback position for this 4th down and 3 play. Maroney to his left, Dreiling behind him. Brown is going to throw, looks for the end zone for Dreiling. 6-8, goes up, catches it, touchdown! Hayes High Indians, Hayden Brown to Dylan Reuter. Reuter goes up at 6-8, holds it in, and the Indians have the lead, 32-27.
That was a great job of Dylan Dreiling making sure he had the throw that he wanted, taking his time, not rushing it, and putting it in a place where only Dylan Reuter could go get it.
It is a conversion for a touchdown from 7 yards out. For Hayden Brown, it is his first touchdown pass of his career. For Dylan Reuter, his 2nd career touchdown reception. Now the Indians line up to go for 2, and Garden City's got to burn a valuable timeout, now trailing.
You know, this is a good call to go for the 1 here. It puts him up by 7, and it keeps the pressure on Garden City. No, excuse me, puts him up by 6.
So going for 2, Garden City ends up taking the timeout. So Reuter with his 2nd catch of the year. And there was one person and one person only that was going to be able to go up and get that. And Brown had to wait to the last moment, and he placed it high for Dylan Reuter. He was at the back of the end zone, and he toe-tapped 2 feet to bring it down. He had a defender draped all over him. Reuter with the catch. Indians with the lead, 32-27. What a play call. What a play.
Yeah, and that's not a name we've called all year, so to trust him in this situation speaks volumes of that senior, somebody that hasn't had a chance to get his name called a lot, not a lot of chances to score, but in his moment, he did what he had to do.
If you are 6'8", that's your play.
Absolutely.
That is a rebound. Go up after the ball, big fella, and go get it. So Hayes High now with a chance at the 2-point conversion to take a full 7-point lead. 9:35 to go in the game. The quarterback is Brown once again. Takes the snap. Flag on the play. The Indians jumped early. Somebody moved.
Yeah, one of those things you talked about earlier in the game, before the game. Procedural penalties will put you in holes that are hard to get out of.
Indians' 4th penalty of the night, 3rd of the 2nd half. Their penalties have been big ones. 10, 15, excuse me. That is their 3rd penalty of the night. 10, 15, and now that 5 yards. So what is the two-point conversion call now from the 7? Does give Hayes High a little extra room to work. Kanik and Reuter switch to the right side of the offense. Play clock is down to 10. Indians need to hurry up. Kiefer to the left for this set. 5 seconds on the play clock. Shotgun snap. Dreiling rolls out to his left, looking for the end zone. He goes to Kiefer, incomplete. And the Indian lead is at 5, 32-27.
You know, you mentioned that was only the 3rd penalty. That is a huge improvement from a week ago when 8 or 9 just offside penalties they should never have had. So they've done a good job of cleaning it up.
Indian football is brought to you by Progressive Physical Therapy, HayesPost.com, Midwest Energy, and Heartland Building Center. Well, this game has been a roller coaster for the last 4 possessions. Garden City was driving, threatening to add to their 27-26 lead. Tucker Veach, an interception just in front of the goal line, takes it back to the Garden City 25. Hayes High does not score, loses the ball on downs. Garden City backs themselves up on a tackle for loss by both Gavin Hazelhorst and Devontae Robinson, and then a penalty, a 6-yard punt to the 15-yard line, put up Hayes High in the red zone to start the drive. They went backwards, finally got a screenplay to go forward, and then Brown to Reuter for 7 yards on 4th and 3, and Hayes High has the lead at 32-27.
When going back to that last play, Hayes High did a good job of stopping the run, something they hadn't done since mid-second quarter, and so the adjustments that they made did a nice job.
So it'll be Matt Goodale to kick off. High end-over-end kick. Returned from the 7-yard line. Left hash return for the Buffaloes, and again the Indians are filling their gaps really well. Will make the tackle inside the 25-yard line. The returner that time, Eric Dominguez, will make it just shy of the 25. The Indian special teams have been pretty good on that kickoff coverage tonight. Ball at the 24. for Garden City. Hayes High with 32 points, a new season high in points.
Yeah, that's a good job of Tony Crow of going out and recruiting a kid to come help his team with a very, very big weakness, and Matt Goodell has stepped up in his first varsity football game.
Indians 3 down linemen this time, Nutting, Hazelhorst, and Adams. Devontae Robinson goes from defensive end to outside linebacker. Indians up by 5, 9:28 to go in this game. Indians show blitz, they bring blitz. It's going to be Acosta keeping it going left side. The Indians get caught in that blitz, and Acosta gets pushed out of bounds by Tavian Kramer at the 35-yard line. Gain of 11. The Indians blitzed, but they ran right past Acosta, who faked the handoff.
When Acosta ran so many times last year, you got to wonder if Garden City's thinking that he's their next man up, and he's got fresh legs. He's ready to run.
They mark him out at the 34-yard line. Gain of 10. That's Acosta's 6th carry of the night, but for 59 yards. Does have a score tonight as well. Reyes to the right along with Ortega. And then one wide receiver to the left. Janis behind quarterback Carlos Acosta. Some confusion on the snap. 3 seconds on the clock. Handoff. Janis on the counterplay. Gets away from one man, but not from Trey Adams. Trey Adams just wrestles him from behind and takes him to the ground. Trey Adams thought that Janis, or at least Janis thought he was going to run away from Trey Adams. Trey didn't have any part of it. Gain of 2 on first down.
Well, and Hayes High saw something pre-snap because they made some adjustments right before the snap, and they did a good job of getting people in position to put a stop to that run.
Each team with 2 timeouts left, 8:50 to go in tonight's game. 32-27 homecoming lead for the Indians here at Lewis Field Stadium. Acosta with 2 receivers to the left. Hands off to Janis to the right, and an up and under tackle by Drake Summers at the 39-yard line will set up 3rd down and 5 for Garden City.
Yeah, Hayes High is doing a good job of coming back from all of that failure of the run to come back and put a stop to it. They're keeping their heart in it, they're keeping their head in it, and they're wanting this homecoming win bad.
29 carries for Josh Janis, 168 yards. Ball at the 39-yard line. He checks out, and Eric Dominguez a little faster at 160 comes in. Janis at 175. 3 wide receivers left for this 3rd and 5 play. Acosta cocks the right leg, puts it back down onto the ground. Long snap count, drops back, throws to his right, pass complete. Wide open receiver. Big hit by the Indians over on that far sideline, Dawson Vonfelt, but all the way up for Ortega to the 30, make that the 46-yard line. Conversion on 3rd and 5, 7 yards on the pass.
Dawson Vonfelt did a good job of coming up and making the stop and at least not getting him any yards after catch.
Second catch for Ortega tonight for 40 yards. He had that big 33-yard catch on 3rd and 7, and that really changed this game because otherwise Garden City's punting, and they had not scored an offensive touchdown. They've been very good since. Again, 3 left, 1 right. Handoff to Dominguez. Comes to the near side, 50, watch out, 40. Running downhill, 35, gets hit hard by Trey Adams, who runs him down from the far defensive end. Dominguez goes down at the Hayes High 30-yard line, a gain of 34.
But once again, Hayes High Indians laying all over the ground, and you can't help but wonder if they just got away with some holds there, because that was a huge hold, and with as many of those Indians laying on the ground, it makes you wonder.
So Garden City at the Hayes High 30. Moving right to left, down by 6 to the Indians, dressed in their home maroons, bright gold numbers. Again, Acosta cocks the right leg, puts it down, fakes right, goes left, back up the middle, and Gavin Myers saves a touchdown at the 24-yard line.
Well, and this is gut check time for Hayes High. They're holding on to a slim 5-point lead with time ticking off the clock.
You hear that wind blowing in from the northeast tonight. Ball down to the 24, 2nd and 4 for Garden City after Hayes High just took the lead on a 4th and 3, 7-yard touchdown pass from Hayden Brown, who was at quarterback, to Dylan Reuter in the back of the end zone. 2-point conversion failed. 2nd and 4. Janis left side behind Vieira, gets hit once, twice, and will have a first down at about the 18-yard line. That's going to be a gain of 6 on the play by Josh Janis on his 30th carry of the night.
This Hayes High defense is getting worn down. They don't seem to have the spark they did even at the beginning of this drive. They've got to find a way to build that wall to keep Garden City out of the end zone.
Into the red zone for Garden City for a 4th time tonight. 2 touchdowns and an interception inside that red zone. Now down to the 19-yard line for the Buffaloes. 2 wide receivers right, 1 to the left, And now Garden City changing the play. Vieira comes off the line of scrimmage. Janis will jump to the right behind Vieira. Snap clock down to 5. Acosta takes the snap. Counter play to Janis. Gets hit, gets driven backwards. Gavin Myers with a 2-point swing down to the turf. It's no gain on the play.
Yeah, there's no question about what Garden City's going to continue to do on this drive. Hayes High just has to decide that they're going to put a stop to this run.
This drive after Hayes High took the lead at 32-27, but the 2-point conversion failed at 9:35. This drive is 4 minutes old. Garden City takes that play clock down to about 10 seconds to snap the ball, sometimes down inside 5. Now Vieira to the left of Acosta, Janis to the right. 2nd and 10. Acosta fakes right, goes left, has one man to beat, and it's going to be Tavian Kramer forcing Acosta out of bounds, and he's down. Oh, my. And Acosta grabs his left knee. Oh, that is a non-contact knee injury. Oh. He and Tavian Kramer were running out of bounds. He stiff arms Kramer and immediately grabbed for his left knee, took his helmet off.
And that is not something you want to see. This young man has had a heck of a night running and playing football, and he is in a lot of pain.
Fantastic basketball player, just a multi-sport athlete. We were told this week how good of a kid that Carlos Acosta is, a gym rat for basketball. Coach Brian Hill makes his way across the field, and the trainers are going to help him up, and he will get help across the field.
Yeah, they did a stability test on him, and he's not wanting to put a lot of weight on that thing right now.
We received a 2-deep this week of who plays for Garden City. We did not receive a backup quarterback. And Carlos Acosta makes his way across the field. Oh, goodness. It is one of those unfortunate situations where, having done this job for long enough, when you see non-contact knee injuries and somebody going to the ground, 99% of the time it does not turn out well.
And it was an immediate grab of the knee, immediate pain.
So who comes in at quarterback for Garden City? I believe Zane Burns, the safety is. It's his first snap at quarterback, 3rd and 4 from the Indian 14-yard line. Hayes up by 5, 4:58 to go in the game, and now a backup quarterback for Garden City. Burns turns, hands off to Janis. Big hole left side to the 5 and pushed out of bounds by Devontae Robinson. Big time response from the Garden City offensive line down to the 4, a run of 10 on 3rd down and 4.
Well, most of the time you hear backup quarterback and you get a little bit of hope in your team that they can make some mistakes, but Garden City's game plan all along is to run the ball. So as long as he can catch a snap and hand the ball off, it's not going to change what they want to do a whole lot.
Well, in Hayes High, you think maybe you sell out on the Janis run at this point. How much will Burns keep it? The backup quarterback cocks his right knee, puts it down onto the ground, turns hands off Janis. Big hole, then gets shoved back. Now the offensive line for Garden City, led by Ronaldo Ramos, the center, pushes the pile down to the 2. 2nd and goal from the 2. The Hayes High Indians clinging to a 5-point lead, but how much longer does this lead last?
I think you hit it right on the head. I think you sell out on the run here and make them beat you in the air. They haven't been real efficient in the air all season. Tonight, granted, they've been a little bit better, but now you've got a backup quarterback, probably not a lot of first-string reps. I think you sell out for the run right here.
And now coming over to the sideline is Zane Burns, the quarterback. Garden City is letting this clock run down. They are going to take a timeout with just over 4 minutes remaining in the game. Here comes the timeout from Coach Brian Hill. 4:03 to go. Garden City takes their 2nd timeout of the game. Indians up 32-27. This is 2nd and goal from the 2. Well, you feel for Carlos Acosta. They're continuing to work on his left knee over on the training table, but they're doing those stability tests, and this does not look good for the young man.
No, he is in a lot of pain.
Hayes Kalon scoreboard update looks like this tonight. It is final. Derby shuts out Bishop Carroll 21-0. Scott City beats Ulysses 27-7. Still going after leading at halftime 21-0. Dodge City has given up 21 points to Great Bend. Fourth quarter, 21 all tie between Great Bend and Dodge City. And at the end of 3, Liberal fighting back, down by just 7 now to Wichita Southeast, 33 to 26. Hayes Kalon scoreboard update for the green grass you won in the spring. It starts with spraying in the fall from Hayes Kalon. Call Kirk Maska or Kurt Viner. 4:03 to go. Ball on the left hash from 2 yards out. Indians up by 5. A 2-point conversion failed, and it leaves it at this 5-point differential.
Well, speaking of Liberal, this is where they're at last week on that 2-point stop.
Now that hefty package, 2 extra fullbacks into the ball game. Under center is the new quarterback, Zane Burns. Turn handoff is going to go to Janis. Does he get in? The officials say yes, touchdown. Janis got hit behind the line of scrimmage, but momentum carried him forward. Garden City takes a 33-32 lead, and Garden City will go for what? 1 or 2? Some confusion even among their own players right now. Janis with his 2nd touchdown rush on his 34th carry, and Garden City is going to use their 3rd and final timeout of the game to talk over what they do here. A 2-point conversion makes it 35-32 and makes Hayes High score a touchdown, but I don't know how much field goal kicking is exactly in the cards tonight for the Hayes High Indians regardless.
Yeah, and Charas was slow to get up, and I watched him as he ran over to the huddle, and he's limping a little bit. It may just be a stinger, but something to keep an eye on.
3:58 to go, a 2-yard run by Josh Janis. Last year, Carlos Acosta ran 39 times. Tonight, 34 carries by Josh Janis. His 2nd of the night after Hayes High had taken the lead, and the drive that looms large right now is the drive that Hayes High on the interception return by Tucker Veach started at the Garden City 25, but did not score. Garden City looks like they're going to line up for 2. They're still in their timeout huddle, using up their 3rd and final timeout. Hayes High has 2 remaining.
And they are still doing stability tests on Acosta over there. They've got it iced up now. It's a long time to test a knee.
Garden City huddles up behind the line of scrimmage, behind the ball. That hefty package back in. Zane Burns, the backup quarterback, a sophomore, into the ball game. The hefty part of the package shifts from left to right. Handoff Janis, right side. Now he's going to throw wide open in the back of the end zone is hefty back Alex Rodriguez. Alex Xavier makes the catch. It is a 3-point ball game, 35-32 on the 2-point conversion.
Yeah, you said that it's probably not going to come down to a field goal to tie it. They were practicing it beforehand, and Matthew Goodell looked pretty decent within about 30, 25 yards of putting it over the uprights. A lot of that to ask from this new kicker. You just never know. We have to see what this is going to come down to.
3:58 to go in the game. 2 timeouts left for the Hayes High Indians. Time to move the ball down the field. Indian football is brought to you by Next Tech, Gibbs Auto Supply, Steel Fabrications, and Eagle Communications on the Hayes High Sports Network, powered by Thirsties in the Venue. Garden City in search of their first win of the year. They go to Liberal next week. This is part of a 3-game road swing for the Buffaloes. Then they go to Wichita Northwest before finishing with Dodge and Great Bend. Hayes High next week in Wichita, part of a 3-game road swing in Wichita to take on the South Titans, who lost last night, are 3-1. Dodge City and Buhler, and then at home against Salina Central to close out Week 8 and see where the bracket falls for Week 9. Dvorak to return. The Indians got a big kickoff return from Hayden Brown on the previous kickoff. Jaron Kanik back at the 15-yard line. Brown at the 20. This kick will sidewind. Kanik backs up, takes it at the 12. Right hash return, 25, straight ahead 30, 35, 40, still on his feet as he approaches the 45-yard line. Straight ahead return, and the Hayes High Indians, good starting field position, down by 3, 35-32, 3:51 to go in the game. Hayes High will start at their own 44-yard line.
Well, and Jaron Kanik needed that. He hasn't had a real great game so far, so he needed a spark for himself because he could be somebody that Hayes High uses to get down the field and in the end zone.
Hayes High down by 3. Still 3:51 to go in this game. 2 wide receivers left. It's an option play. Dreiling will keep. Go left side. Good block by Fletcher. And Dreiling will make it 5 yards to the 49-yard line. Good run on first down. Dylan Dreiling, 123 yards rushing.
And Dylan Dreiling is down at the 50-yard line. It looks like it may just be a cramp. He's asking somebody to stretch him out here.
That or Roy Maroney has just earned a medical degree and knows exactly what he's doing. But
well, you know his dad.
Cramps for Dylan Dreiling, the quarterback. So he will have to come out of the ball game.
And Roy gives way to the trainer.
We apologize. Apparently we are having some technical difficulties on our streaming app. The 96.9 KFIX streaming app, getting apparently a little bit of a double broadcast. There's nothing we can do from this location nor from our studio, so we'll try to have that fixed as soon as possible. 35-32, Hayes High down by 3, 2nd and 5. Hayes High will likely have Jordan Dale now at the quarterback position unless they go with Hayden Brown at that Wildcat.
And Hayes High has 2 timeouts remaining here to work with, so the clock is not going to be a huge factor, but they do need to watch it a little bit.
Dreiling will have to come out for one game, or for one play at least. Well, that would be serious for Cramps, right? Dylan will come out for at least one play, and it is Jordan Dale, the 5'9", 145-pound sophomore, into the contest as quarterback. He'll line up far on the left side as a wide receiver. Brown is the quarterback on 2nd and 5 from the Hayes 49-yard line. He'll keep it himself, test the right side, try to get the first down, and second effort brings it up just about a half a yard short.
Well, and Brown did a good job of holding on to that ball. They were ripping it from him.
And a penalty flag on Garden City. This looks like to be a face mask on the Garden City Buffaloes. It is at 5 or is it 15? It is a 15-yard penalty on Garden City, their 6th penalty of the night.
That is a big break for Hayes High. Those free yardages, they have to take advantage of it.
And now down to the Garden City 31. Brown again at Dreiling at the quarterback position after missing that one play. 3:05 and counting. Indians down by 3. 2 wide receivers left. Maroney bounces to the left of the quarterback now. Dylan Dreiling, who missed the last play with cramps, looks to throw. Now tucks and runs, gets away from a defender. 30, stood up at about the 28, and then driven backwards. Ball came loose, but the whistles had blown. This will remain Hayes High football.
Yeah, Hayes High would be smart to run some time off this clock as much as they possibly can, which is to say the obvious, but Garden City is a running team. And so the more they can take that running game out of question, the better off they'll be.
2 yards on the Dreiling run down to the 29-yard line. Indians down by 3. 2.5 to go. 2 timeouts on their board. 35-32 Garden City. Indians taking some time to get this play right. Canick and Reuter to the right. Kiefer to the left. Handoff, Brown straight up the middle. Falls a big block, 20. Gets his jersey tugged on, still on his feet, 15. Stay on your feet, young man. Get inside that 15-yard line down to the 12. 17 yards on the run by senior Hayden Brown.
And he drug about 6 white jerseys with him. You know, Hayden Brown's not exactly a big guy, but he is determined.
All the way down to the 13 officially is where they'll mark him down. 16 yards on that run into the red zone for a 3rd time tonight for the Hayes High Indians. Turn, handoff, Brown, same play, big hole as he gets down to the 10.
And he just got tripped up.
And now a late flag comes in. That is really late, back in the secondary. What is this?
Yeah, they were getting up and getting reset. Looks like it's going to be on Hayes High, and they better watch themselves not to get another one.
Dead ball, personal foul on Hayes High. Well, I did not see what happened. 1:51 to go. And Tony Crow hands out to his side trying to find out what happens.
Luke Fletcher was...
And apparently they pushed somebody down into the ground. Oh, my.
Luke Fletcher was not happy after that play because he had to be restrained by his teammates.
That put the ball back to the 26-yard line. The Indians were at the 5 after the run, or down inside the 5. 2nd down and 26. 2nd down and 25 for the Hayes High Indians. Down by 3. Handoff Brown, right side, tries to catch the edge, 25. Stiff arm at the 20. Now he gets swung down on the sideline by the inside part of his collar, and Hayes High will use a timeout.
Yeah, that was very close to a horse collar. Garden City defender is very lucky he grabbed only the jersey and not the shoulder pad.
Now Hayes High will use their second timeout.
Hayes High needs to regain their composure here. They had a lot of excitement. They had a lot of momentum. Something didn't go their way. They've got to shake it off if they're going to punch this into the end zone and take this game.
Hayes High was down inside the 10-yard line. Down by 3, a chance to punch it in. Now 1:17 to go. They're back at their own 26-yard line. No gain on that run by Hayden Brown. Hayes High was threatening to punch it in and take the lead, but a 15-yard penalty, shooting themselves in the foot.
Well, now you wonder, do you put it in the hands of Dylan Dreiling, or do you give it to Hayden Brown and let him see what he can do with it?
You have got to get some yards. Does Dylan Dreiling go to the air? It has been a rough night, 3 for 11, 25 yards. One of those, a 15-yard screenplay. Dreiling quarterback, Maroney left, Reuter to the right, and now 3 wide receivers left, including Hayden Brown. 3rd and 22 from the 26-yard line. Dreiling rolls out left. The left-handed quarterback with some time. Throws it deep. Man is open. It is caught by Kiefer. No, they say incomplete. Kiefer came up with the football. The official not giving a reason. Dreiling could not get the football deep enough. Incomplete. 4th and 22. And here is your ball game.
Boy, that official must have seen something we didn't, because it sure looked like he was able to get back and make that catch. That is a tough break for Hayes High. Here's where you wish you had instant replay.
Well, you wonder, was he out of bounds? Did it bounce in regardless? The play right now, though, is the penalty. Well, Hayes High got a 15-yard penalty inside the 10. 4th and 22, a minute 12 to go. Hayes High will use their final timeout of the game. And all of the momentum was in Hayes High's favor after that run down inside the 10. Garden City looking for their first win of the year. They held on against Hayes High a year ago, 35-28. They lead right now, 35-32. Well out of field goal range. And essentially, this is a touchdown play. You have to get down to the 4 for a first down. The catch by Kiefer would have been at the 1.
It was a beautiful throw by Dylan Dreiling. You know, he put it right where he needed to be, just a little short, maybe dropped it, but this is going to go in the hands of Dylan, and he's got to make a good play. Offensive line is key here. They've got to give him time to make a throw. Receivers have got to run good routes.
Kiefer, Kanik, Brown to the left, Dylan Reuter to the right. Here's your game. 4th and 22, minute 12 to go. Indians down by 3. The Indians are at the 26. They need to get to the 4. Garden City brings a blitz. Dreiling throws to the end zone. Oh, there's got to be a flag. There's no penalty. Oh, the Hayes High Indians got ran into in the secondary, and the official swallows his flag. Same thing that was called earlier, and they refused to throw the flag. Unsportsmanlike on Hayes High on the sideline. That is the same thing that was called earlier.
When it wasn't just one, it was 2 defenders for Garden City there blocking that play. I don't know what else they want.
I refuse to blame officials for games. You make that call when there's contact with the ball in the air. That is the same thing Tavian Kramer got called for in the first half, and Garden City is going to be gifted a 4th quarter finish. Garden City will take the victory formation. Hayes High out of timeouts.
You know, one of the biggest pet peeves is inconsistency in officiating. That stuff can't happen.
And as a person, I apologize for going off on a play like that, but my goodness. Garden City will need to take one more snap to end this ball game. The clock not running. Hayes High doesn't have any timeouts left, and the Indians will fall to 1-3. Garden City moves to 1-3.
And you hate to see this game come to an end like that.
Hayes High Indian football is brought to you by Thirsties in the Venue and Commerce Bank. This will be a difficult one to take for the Hayes High Indians. They shot themselves in the foot down at the 10 on a penalty. Hayes High through to the end zone. 2 players ran into a Hayes High Indian. And that's the game. 35-32, Hayes High with the loss. And the Hayes High Indians fall to 1-3. In conference now 1-2. Garden City moves to 1-3, 1-0 in the Western Athletic Conference. Final from Lewis Field Stadium. By 3, Garden City wins 35-32 on the Hayes High Sports Network, powered by Thirsties and the Venue.